And we're live. Hey, everybody. Jim Masters here. It's time for the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series, beaming all across the globe from the United States. We're here in the New York tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, along the beautiful and historic southern New England coast between New York and Boston. It's about 43 degrees, but it's sunny, which is really nice because we had some snow and ice a couple of days ago. How's everybody doing? It's good to see all your smiley faces. This is the place for entertainment, poignant conversations, light, love, levity, our famous JMS Levity, and all kinds of surprises. You never know what happens on the Jim Masters Show Live, Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series, because we do come at you live. We've got extraordinary guests. We have a lot of cool moments and memory making as well. And our audience, our JMS Lovities, they are watching right now from around the world live. And if you'd like to comment during the show, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is the channel you're watching right now. Matter of fact, it is where we house some 600 plus episodes that we have done of the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. We're bringing back the lost art of conversation, old school TV presenter, TV host style, with a modern twist and a modern vibe of today. For those of you watching for the first time, we welcome you. We are here in the United States. I'm a television and radio presenter and host and journalist, actor, writer, producer, stage MC, voiceover artist, narrator, and so much more. And we started this show back in April 2020 to connect everybody, entertain, inform, inspire, and have a good time. And so many of you have been with us since day one. You are our JMS Levity Squad. And again, if you'd like to comment during the show, special for the subscribers of our channel, which costs you nothing. You just hit this red button you see there that says subscribe. Doesn't cost you a dime. And click that, and you can comment live during the shows. That's right. It's a special gift for all of our subscribers. So if you want to comment in chat, that is live chat. If you want to comment on our YouTube channel, you can go ahead and do that at any time during the live show and afterwards as well. Matter of fact, we would encourage you to comment on our episodes because YouTube loves that, and they see the episode and the comments and the interaction, and they blast the episode out even further around the world. Also, give this episode what we call a thumbs up like. And all the episodes you enjoy, there's a little thumbs up icon underneath all the episodes there, and give that thumbs up like, and also leave that comment for us as well. And when you subscribe to the YouTube channel, make sure you click that notification bell icon. Reason why, you'll be alerted to every episode we have, and we do come at you live just about 7 days a week. Our Levity viewers are commenting live. We see these comments coming in literally from all around the world. We welcome our JMS Levity Squad as well. And again, if this is your first time watching, we welcome you to the Jim Masters Show Live as well. Now, my buddy George Hutton, live and direct from Ireland, in a beautiful studio setting that he's got there, is joining us. And if you saw the episode he was on, which was about a year ago, it was around Christmas time, we had a blast. He performed live. We had a great conversation, talked a lot about life and surviving the pandemic and all the crazy stuff. But as I mentioned, not only is George doing some really new, exciting things, and he's a big supporter and friend of the Jim Masters Show Live, which we appreciate. He's worked with Phil Coulter. He's worked with some of the greats. There are some surprise special guests and buddies and friends and fellow musicians that he has brought with him, and singers and songwriters that are joining him in the studio. So not only is George joining us today as our special guest, my buddy George, but also some special surprise guests are joining George as well. So we are welcoming George. And again, you know him as a phenomenal Irish singer, songwriter, lyric tenor, and so much more. But in addition to that, gang, he has some new announcements, really some special announcements, some new added directions and visions that he has for his music. And we can't wait to share that with all of you. Again, he's going to be coming live and direct from Ireland. So with that said, gang, how's everybody doing? We're having a great day. I was believe it or not, I was working. It's Sunday and I'm always working. We had a nice breakfast moments ago, kind of late because it's lunchtime. We just had a really nice coffee, a little bit of an Irish coffee. It has to be, right? I'm Irish on my mother's side. So we got to have a little of that Irish coffee on a Sunday. And I was actually at the TV studio, and we had another TV shoot this morning. Crazy, busy time here. And I hope you guys are doing well. And we send you some love wherever you're watching around the world. If you're not having a good day, join us all the time, every day here on the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. We guarantee you will have a great time with all of us and all the viewers who comment and become friendly with one another as well. So with all that said, gang, I think it's time to welcome our friend George Hutton and surprise guests to the Jim Masters Show Live. Let's do it right now. Here they are. Hey, guys.
Howdy, partners.
Hey, well, first we have, of course, George joining us, my buddy George. George, how are you?
Yeah, good, Jim.
Doing all right?
We're it's a year later since I was first on with you, and yeah, a lot's changed since then, and back out performing live again. I've been working on some exciting stuff, so I'm really excited to chat to you about that. And,
that is so cool. Yeah. And you've brought some special guests with you too. I see you have Joseph Gordon-Levitt next to you, or the Hollywood actor.
Michael,
pretty close. He looks like him, doesn't he?
No, it is me. I've moved to Ireland during the pandemic.
Moved to Ireland.
I see. I'm not coming back. So
not coming back, and you've developed this Irish brogue too. You're talented.
Yeah, it doesn't take long if you hang around with these scallywags.
Scallywags, I like that. I love all those words. Scallywags, bloke. I mean,
do you guys not say scallywags? No,
we don't say scallywags. We don't say bloke. We will say probably like buddy. You know, he's a great buddy. He's a pal or a friend, but we'll say like buddy. But I love bloke.
What's your word for like a naughty buddy, like a scallywag? How does that translate?
So like a naughty buddy?
Yeah.
That's a good word. I don't know. I have to think about. I try to think about what that is. Yeah. What would we call a naughty buddy? And the other thing too, you know, when I started inviting, you know, some of my friends from, because we feature everybody, Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, food, sports, comedy, everything on this show, inspiration. When I started inviting people that I knew personally that I've interviewed here in the States on television, from Ireland on as well, because the guests come from around the world, they would start to say, wow, we're having some great Irish crack on the show. And I had to make sure that to the audience over here, I explained what that meant. So we didn't end up in the newspaper saying Jim Masters and guests were doing crack on the show. They would be like, what? Irish crack, good times, humor, fun. You know what I mean? C-R-A-I-C. Yeah, that's the big difference. So again, tell us about Michael. Tell us about his background, George, and welcome.
Michael is an acclaimed singer-songwriter himself. Yes. Has performed with a number of amazing acts. He was the lead singer in would you say it was a rock band? Mojo Fury. Who, not too long ago were pretty big, certainly on the island and across the UK. And he's a very accomplished producer. And I suppose maybe I should pass that over to Mike. And
absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to be talking about myself too much here, but no, I mean, I've been playing music for a long time, 20 years now, and I work a lot in production, and have enjoyed crossing paths with George this past year. We've been working on this record, and it's early days, you know. But apart from that, I play with a couple of different acts. Do a lot of session work, and before the pandemic was playing live a lot, touring a lot. In fact, in 2019, I think I played in 12 countries, toured in Australia and Europe a lot. So and here we are now, just looking forward to getting back out on the road and making more records. And
that is cool, huh? That is fantastic. So have you and George known each other for a long time?
Well, that's an interesting one, actually, Jim, because as you know, I used to sing in a group a number of years ago, Anuna.
Yes, that's right. The famous Anuna. Yes. So you know, Lynn Hillary and all of our other, we know so many fabulous people. Lynn's a dear friend as well.
Yeah. She's fantastic. She's a fabulous singer as well. And a lovely person as well.
And you're probably you're friends with Celtic Thunder, Celtic Woman, the High Kings, Darren and Brian, Dumphy. They're all great friends too. Yeah. Small world, you know?
Oh, it is, surely. Certainly in the Irish music scene, it's like,
everybody supports everybody.
Yeah, and there's always some kind of connection between one person to the next, you know, and a lot of projects tend to cross over as well, you know. So, but yeah, it's interesting because in Anuna I sang with one of the baritones, Zach Troughton, who's actually Danny's brother. So yeah, so Zach was one of the baritones, and another a baritone, Donald Kearney, who I'm still very good friends with. They are both members of the band that Mike is in. So the three of them make up the group called True, which is in Irish. What does it mean in Irish?
It's a mythical, like a poet, like traveler. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a mythical word for a poet, traveler, and so the guys have been doing phenomenally well. They were nominated for the Northern Ireland Music Prize for album of the year, song of the year, and it just so happened that when the new project that I wanted to embark on, is that both Zach and Donal, who've been working very closely with Mike and who are both very good friends of Mike's, I wanted to sort of move away from the stuff that I was doing. And in order to sort of move away and branch out into something new, it's important, I think, from a creative and an artistic perspective, to work with new people. And I had been listening to a lot of the work that Mike had been producing, and Mike has produced a lot of records, and particularly it was the True album that I was really drawn to. And when I spoke to Zach, my friend, I was like, Zach, this album's fantastic. You know, who produced it? And then found out Mike produced it. And I already knew of Mike. Like, Mike played in, you know, like, I knew he was the lead singer of Mojo Fury, but he was also, there was a band a number of years ago called Red Organ Serpent Sound. They were like a rock kind of band, kind of psychedelic almost. Mm-hmm. And he played drums for them for a period as well. So although we hadn't met sort of officially, I knew who he was, and I knew he had a great sort of musical reputation, you know. And so Zach kind of introed me to Mike, and I suppose the rest is history. I can't get rid of him now, or he can't get rid of me.
That's it. And then you've got Danny, the trifecta of talents in the back there. Tell us, hey, Danny, welcome. And George, do a little intro for Danny for us, and then we'll have Danny tell us about himself. It's kind of cool.
Again, so Zach, who I was speaking of, this is Zach's brother, Danny Troughton. Danny's a very accomplished musician, multi-instrumentalist. Both Mike and Danny are multi-instrumentalists. And Danny's been working on the record too, doing a lot of mixing and stuff. And it's just a real pleasure to work with, you know. And he's sort of like, I suppose what I be right in saying, it's like he's like Mike's apprentice as well. Mike keeps, Mike, so the two, what I be right in saying that sort of like, so the two of them work very closely together, and it's been really nice to have,
he's a secret weapon, actually.
He is a secret weapon. There's been a few times we've been in the studio, and like Danny will go over and start tinkling the ivories, and it's like, oh, keep that. Yeah. Keep that, little motifs and stuff. He's absolutely fantastic. So he
also didn't know that he was coming to America tonight with us on your show until about 10 minutes before the show. So
really, you had to rip him out of his bed, or what was he doing?
I was working on music. He was here, and I thought, Danny, jump, you're getting needy. Yeah, but I suppose Danny was in. Danny, you were in Korea for a period of time.
I was going to say, Danny hasn't said a word yet. So can Danny, do you verify everything that the other guy said?
It's all true.
It's all true. It's all true. Welcome, Danny. Tell us a little about your incredible background. It's good to have you with us on the show.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been doing this music stuff for about, I suppose, 15 years now. Primarily on the drums, but I do like to, tinkle on the piano and a bit of guitar and stuff, So.
He's being very modest here, Jim. He's being awfully modest.
I was going to say, right? He's awfully modest. The gang, the Lovedies, are commenting, and they're welcoming all of you, and they said you guys are Lovedies already. But they're asking, they're seeing all these instruments, a lot of guitars and everything. They're also asking, do you guys play any other instruments too, in addition to the guitar?
I like to say jack of all, master of none. I started on drums over 20 years ago, and I guess that lends itself to picking up anything. And if you have a bit of rhythm, you can. I even have an old cello I bought on eBay for $100, and we've even used that on George's new tracks. Even if we like tune one string to one note and just drone on it, So even we get weird and wonderful sounds out of any instrument, But sometimes it's that's where you get the best stuff, whenever using it in a strange way. But there's all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff lying around here.
Yeah. There's a sitar over there somewhere.
Yeah, you got a sitar over there too, huh? So where in Ireland are you guys positioned today?
So we're just outside of Hillsborough.
In Hillsborough,
we're in Hillsborough, which is just outside of Belfast.
Yeah,
so,
nice.
So it's a beautiful studio which Mike built himself, and it's tucked away in the countryside. So it's it's beautiful. It's a lovely. It's interesting, when you come into a room like this, you're instantly sort of stepping into a bit of a vibe, a nice ambiance, as I say, Jim.
Ambiance,
we've had some really, because we've actually recorded, myself, Mike, and Danny have recorded some really nice live versions of the tracks that we've been working on for the new album as well. So it's been, you just capture those lovely special moments, and it's just been certainly for me a wonderful transition as well from the stuff I've been doing in the past.
Yeah, let's talk about that. You've, people know you. You're a brilliant lyric tenor and Irish singer-songwriter, and you've worked extensively with the renowned, and he was a guest on our show, a beloved Phil Coulter, on projects and so much more. Tell us about some of the new. You guys and I, we were talking before we went live on the air about how during this time, a lot of us have been sort of, adding in different things and maybe tackling things that we haven't had a chance to tackle in our lives, and take on new things we've always wanted to do, but we didn't have time. You've sort of added in some new twists, George, to what you're doing. Tell us about that. It's exciting.
Yeah. So I suppose when the pandemic started, Jim, at that time I was on a bit of a sort of a crest of a wave. With a lot of stuff that I've been doing with, I just come off the road with Phil Coulter. I just did a headline show in the Ulster Hall in Belfast. I just launched a new album, and then gone. Literally, it was overnight. Everything stopped. So that initial feeling was an extremely difficult thing to cope with initially, but then, as time progressed, and you just have to, like everybody else that was in that situation, the best way for me to deal with it was to sit down and write. And so I spent a lot of time. What started initially, I suppose, as writing a lot of poetry.
Yeah.
That, I suppose having the time and the space to really think about the things that matter to me most. And I think, from on a personal level, I started to write about those, and and having that space and that time to do that, it sort of opened up this well in me, all this stuff that I never took the time to sort of, I suppose, process and deal with. And the best way to do that, I found, was through writing. And then as I started writing, I started, I am no pianist by any stretch, but I can play a couple of chords quite badly on the piano. So I started sitting down at my little keyboard and coming up with a few different ideas. And I knew that they weren't going to go any further than that unless I, started working with somebody who had a vision, could see, somebody who I could sit with and could understand the sort of direction and the idea that I wanted to move forward with. And then that's when I met Mike, because all the previous stuff I'd done, I'm very proud of it. But this new project, which, by the way, under the name Seoirse. So Seoirse in Irish is George, and the actual spelling of that is SEO Fada IRSE. But the problem is a lot of people don't know how to pronounce it. So I have spelt it
phonetically. They probably try a lot of different things, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So I've literally spelt it phonetically, sure, sha. So that's why I've decided to move forward with that name, because, you know, it's like anything else. I mean, I sat down with the guys, and oh, lovely.
Yeah, nice.
Debut single coming out the 11th of March, folks. Pre-save link in the bio. But, gotta, you know what I'm talking about, Jim. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah. Gotta get it in there. Gotta get it in there. All for one low price.
So, yeah. And so, yeah, this is the debut single, Some Kind of Noise, which is, yeah, I suppose, again, it's a song that highlights that sense of stepping out of your comfort zone. And you know, it's only natural to be afraid when you've not done the thing before, you know, when you've never stepped into that arena, because this is an entirely new arena for me. Like, yes, I've been singing a lifetime, and I've been very fortunate to perform with some pretty special artists down the years, but this, and what's also been, oh, brilliant, lovely, that's great. But what's really nice is I've even had the support. Like, I've sat down with Phil and let Phil hear some of the songs, which was a bit nerve-wracking, because, you know, you sit down and you're talking with the man who is
legend,
hit songs for the last 50 years for the likes of, you know, Elvis, Cliff Richard, you know, Bay City Rollers, Kenny, the list goes on. And it was really nice to have the feedback from him saying that he really loved the songs. So eventually, I think he's, you know, a time was going to come at some stage where, I think at some point I had to do this for myself, and having the time over the last 2 years to really take the time to process it, write it, get into the studio with Mike and Danny, has been really, really special. I mean, we have the record is pretty much sitting ready to go. And I think building up the friendship with Mike and with Danny allowed for a very organic process and a very organic progression with the change in sound. Because, as you know yourself, Jim, like, you know, the stuff that I've done which would very much fall under the branch of, like, you know, Irish folk classical crossover. The world of, or the genre of world music as such, as it's very much a compartmentalized genre, you know. It's very so to do this and step away was a massive stepping stone for me.
Were you nervous?
Yeah, absolutely. But nervous in an
excited, passionate way, enthusiastic way. Yeah,
exactly, because it's that thing where these are all original songs, and I'm a firm believer that, like, you know, once you release a song, it's not yours anymore.
Right.
It doesn't belong to you anymore. But at least you've taken the time to wear your heart in your sleeve and say, I hope this resonates with someone.
Yeah.
It's not going to resonate with everybody, and not everybody's going to like it. But, you know, you suppose you hope that people do relate to it in some way.
Yeah.
And it's been a very, very exciting and nerve-wracking progression.
Yeah.
But the more I've been getting into it with the guys, it's been it just feels right, you know.
It feels right? Yeah. And Michael, you would agree, right? There's just something that's gelling, that's working between all of you.
Oh, it's one of the most wonderful things is, and particularly in my job, you know, working with artists and bands, is, you know, building that relationship and finding that formula of where everybody is creatively and what they're bringing to a project and or a song even, you know. But then exploring within that and getting into that comfortable place where you're not afraid to get things wrong in front of each other, and you know, especially for George, just reminds me of that lovely David Bowie quote, you know, where you swim just outside of your depth and your feet aren't touching the ground, and that's where the magic happens. And I honestly think that's what we found with a lot of this project, just even both of us stumbling upon musical ideas, lyrical ideas, and melodies that, you know, that wouldn't have been found unless we let ourselves just get into that lovely, vulnerable, creative space. So absolutely, yeah.
That's really cool, you know, that you guys decided to take the plunge and to do it. What do you see as the sort of like the future of it all? What do you hope you know, people are going to get from it? Tell us a little bit about the vibe and the feel. You guys are going to play live for us. So those that are watching, wondering, are they going to play? Sure, they're going to play as we're doing the chat. But how would you describe the sound and the feel of it all?
Myself or Mike? Sorry.
Any of you, maybe each of you can contribute what it is that you're bringing to the projects, and also what you hope people get out of it, but also what you think the vibe is.
I think for me, this is it's got a very strong ambient alternative sort of pop sound, but it's definitely got a real like there's just a lovely soundscape. The entire record is this lovely soundscape which Michael has effectively built and composed around the sort of the melodic structure of the songs, you know. And I just love how his mind works. It's, you know, he's not afraid. It's an album. The songs are, we certainly weren't afraid to delve into things that are quite different, you know. Would you agree?
Yeah, big time. And even although how we play it today, what's beautiful about the material is, which I think works for all the songs, it transfers well back to its singer-songwriter form, whether that be a guitar and a voice or a piano and a voice. And that's really important, I think, when you know that there's still a song. So underneath all the production, so even on, say, the first single we're about to put out, it's got a really dirty bass guitar, a big sort of, you know, lazy hip hoppy beat with lots of beautiful gospel style vocals and stuff. And it's awesome, you know, it's lovely energy about it. But underneath that, it's this beautiful track, and we'll play that for you, you know, tonight. And yeah, that's been nice to explore. And then another big factor is for me about the sound is what's been so interesting is knowing that George has been singing again for 10 or 15 years or more, in again that very, you know, specific style of a tenor voice, but now he's exploring a whole nother part of his voice and his own lyric as well, which is being delivered in a completely different way and place from the likes of the material that he would have sung in the past. So to be at the start of that now is really interesting for me, and it's just really nice part of the journey, I guess.
How did you get involved in music, Michael? What was the inspiration for you early on as a kid?
There was no musicians in my family, but I guess my dad would have been spinning he was a big prog rock fan, so never would have been far away from, like, you know, prog and rock, Led Zeppelin, Yes, Jethro Tull, Beatles records, strange psych German bands. So I mean, I just there wasn't far from a healthy amount of rock and roll. And when my mum would have left the house, he would have put on Black Sabbath, so got a bit of the good dark stuff in there, you know. So so yeah, no, I mean, yeah, reared on rock and roll, and then I guess just finding drums in high school, and you know, biggest inspirations being John Bonham and Ringo, and starting there, and then that you know, that just starting the journey of being completely obsessed with music. And you know, I think once you have that in your life, you never look back, really, you know. And I've tried to make it my free. I've just made my life work around that in a freelance way, and I've been blessed to make that work so far. So
yeah, that's really cool. And you've had some great opportunities, right, to be involved with some, you know, great musical projects that are just extraordinary.
Oh, but big time, yeah. I mean, I've got to go to the States. I think 3 times now. I made a record in Alabama in Muscle Shoals.
Oh yeah.
You know, and got to stand in rooms that and use the same Wurlitzer as Aretha Franklin, and then I in Chicago worked with Steve Albini on a record, and I was in LA as well. So it's like, and as I said to you as well, getting to go to Australia for a few shows in 2019. I mean, I could never have imagined that, you know, like just getting to do what I do, even at this level, is just magic, you know. And you never know where you're going to end up. You know, that's the part of the beautiful journey of music too, you know. And
it just takes your breath away. You're
yeah,
speechless.
right? Yeah.
You're just speechless. It's so moving. It's so emotional that it just makes you speechless.
Michael,
a picture is worth 1,000 words. How about Danny? Tell us about your background. How did you first, you know, as a kid, like what inspired you to get into music and have a love for music?
I think a pretty similar thing actually. Like my dad, he was into, you know, Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, and stuff like King Crimson. So I would find his records and CDs and stuff, and I suppose I got into it that way, just finding those. And he had a guitar lying about the house that I would just pick up and try to play. And then I suppose that evolved into like trying to play the drums and then a bit of piano and stuff. And yeah,
Danny's a brilliant drummer.
I was going to say, do you have a favorite instrument, Danny? Is there an instrument that is like the go-to one that if if the house was on fire and you had to grab one instrument, what instrument would it be? I mean, you'd have the Guinness probably in the left hand, but what would be in the right hand?
I would have to be the drum kit if I could pick it up with one hand. Yeah, that's the one I've spent the most time with. So
that's the one. Yeah, you'd want to. That's really, really cool. So you guys having a good time, and this sort of union formed during the craziness of pandemic time. What have you got?
Actually, on the topic of instruments, while we're on that, something that I actually inherited a lovely upright piano from my auntie during I think 2020. She passed away, so the piano ended up at the studio. She'd only maybe played it like a few times, this, you know, to bust out a few hymns, you know, but it came here and it soon got a good breaking in, you know. So but it has this really beautiful sound about it, you know, and it's actually all over the Shorsha material and the Shorsha record, and it's been a big part of the sound.
Absolutely. It's such a beautiful upright, and it's definitely one of the driving factors through the entire record, you know, because it definitely has once when Mike sits down to play it, like, you know, you're instantly just you're sort of transported to a different place, you know. It certainly inspires as well when you just hear it. Like it's stunning, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Do you hope to go on tour with it all too? Are there plans for that?
Are you talking about the piano or the humans?
When I get my first Grammy, we'll all go, you know, we'll all hit the
right.
Well, of course, like I'd absolutely, that is, you know, you have to have, I suppose, aspirations for, I want to get, you know, I want to play this stuff live, and I want to, you know, I want to see how George Hutton transforms into Shorsha live, you know what I mean? It's going to have to be a totally different experience, you know, both.
So is Shorsha the name? Is Shorsha you, or is it you with the guys? Is it sort of like a group situation, or is it the artist formerly known as Prince?
That's a very nice way of putting it. Yeah, I think it's certainly evolving. Like, it's something that I can't. I certainly couldn't do. I wouldn't be doing. I wouldn't be where I am now with this record if it wasn't for the guys. So I, they're a huge part of this. But I respect the fact that the guys are, they're too. A lot of people are looking for them. A lot of people, and they've got their own projects and they're very busy. But I'm very grateful that
you're blessed to have them with you and you with them, and this whole union that is formed, which is really, really cool.
No matter what happens, like, if I'm going to perform live and the guys, are busy with all their projects, they're still always going to be part of Shoresha. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like their mark will forever be on it. But I mean, I want to perform live with these guys. Like, ideally, that's the ideal scenario. But we'll see. I'm excited to see how it's received, and obviously
it's all new.
It's like, it's ground zero here. It's literally starting afresh. So hopefully, I mean, it's nice to be able to tap into everything that I've done prior to this to sort of help. And as I say, I'm not gonna stop doing the stuff that I've done. I'm very proud of that. But I think my main focus from an artistic perspective, certainly, and with original repertoire, Shoresha is the thing that I really want to try and push.
That's really cool. That's awesome. Congratulations again, putting this all together. Michael, what are some projects you're also working on in addition to Shoresha with George?
So, as George mentioned earlier on, Danny's brother and I play in a band called True. So that's TRU with a fada on the U. If you can find that on your keyboard, I'm still trying to figure out how to find it on my keyboard. But the record, it's there. It's on YouTube and Spotify and stuff. It's called No Fixed Abode. So that's a really lovely project. And what else? I also play with a great Irish artist called Amy Montgomery. A lovely alternative rocky sound, dipping into a bit of an Alanis Morissette sort of vibe in some of it, but she's got her own thing going on as well, a bit of LCD sound system vibes too. It's very, very cool, energetic project. And then I've started to prepare my own record as well, which I've been sitting on for a while, but I put it down in 2020. And I'm only just getting around now to finalizing that. So that's going to come out later this year, which is exciting. And then I mean, I'm always there's so much music going on in Ireland at the minute, particularly Northern Ireland where we live. Actually, Belfast just got awarded a UNESCO World Heritage music status. It's actually the first city in Ireland to get it.
Wow.
So
cool.
And it's really cool. Yeah, and I mean, it's based on our music heritage, but it's also based a lot on what's happening right now. And there's so many, like young bands coming up, active bands now, touring the world. We have great festivals. We've got just a good sort of structure coming into the whole local scene here on the island, and it feels like a really good time to be here doing music as independent artists right now, so
that's cool. And Danny, how about you? Any other things you're working on separate from all of this? And I don't know if there's a microphone near you. They're saying they're having trouble hearing you, Danny, because you're so far away, I guess.
Come forth, sir. Come forth.
Yeah, some of them are saying, what did Danny just say? Did he ask me for $20 or?
Thank you to the viewers for your for saying hello and your comments.
Hello
to everybody. It's great to meet you guys too.
Yeah, absolute. Congrats on the new album. Linda's watching in Florida, and Mona is watching in New Orleans, Louisiana, USA. Love the accent and guitars on the wall.
Yeah. I love New Orleans. I was in New Orleans in 2019.
Oh, awesome. It's a great
Yeah.
city, isn't it?
Great
Hi,
city,
Jim,
yeah.
and welcome, George, Michael, and Danny. Hello, lovelies. Hope everyone is having a great Sunday. Jen, who watches us all the time religiously in Pennsylvania, USA, in the Allentown area, sort of northeast of Philadelphia, she always asks the guests this question. Now, I'm an ocean person because we're here on the East Coast, northeastern United States, in the New York.
Whereabouts are you right now?
Right in the New York area on the southern New England coast between New York and Boston. So we have the ocean, and I swim and surf and boogie board and sail it and float in it. And I'm an ocean guy, but and I like tennis, I like cycling too, but and baseball. But she always asks the guests, what's their Zen place? Do you guys like the ocean or do you like the mountains?
Ooh.
Ocean or mountains? That's Jen. There she is.
That's a tough one. I think for me, it's probably a combination of both. Like I grew up.
No.
Oh, really?
You can't have a boat if you had to.
It would have to be the beach. Lisfannon Beach in Donegal.
The ocean.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a very special place where, like, if I ever have to go and clear the mind, that's where I go.
The ocean speaks to you.
Oh,
how about you, Danny? Mountains or ocean?
It's a tough one. But I think ocean as well.
Yeah. How about you, Michael?
Same, man. I just find the ocean so healing, and I actually live on a boat, so
you do.
I'm a sailor too, so I have to say the ocean. Yeah, although we have some beautiful mountains in our county here as well.
Yeah.
They're all equally as beautiful, but
those cliffs of Moher and so much. That's
it's beautiful. Yeah,
like God's country there. Do you guys? I know a lot of the folks from Ireland. I know some of the Celtic Thunder guys. They're into surfing. So they like to come. They love Florida, and then they go surfing. I think Keith Harkin surfs, whatever. You guys, a big surfer, and some of the others. Do you guys get into any of that at all?
I tried surfing, Jim, once, and I was terrible at it.
I was going to say, did it like you? Or?
I spent about 4 hours in the water, and I think I got up on the board once, but it was enjoyable. But I don't have the balance to like. But it was cool
to stay on there. How about you guys? Do you guys do any of that, Danny and Michael?
I too have tried surfing, and I stood on the board for about 2 seconds. But from that, I in those 2 seconds, I think I understood why people love it, and I can imagine if you put the time in to being able to ride the wave, man. I think it would be amazing. I'm gonna try whenever maybe we come over to you and you can teach us.
Yeah,
absolutely. Not only does Michael look a little bit like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the actor, he also, his vibe is a little Keanu Reeves.
It is.
It just is, doesn't it? Am I right? It's like, I think I'm talking to Keanu Reeves a little bit and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He could have a whole career as like a stunt double for both guys in Hollywood.
He's got a very cool demeanor about him.
There's a Keanu Reeves sort of delivery, right? I'm picking that up. That's kind of cool.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I'm going to get a lot of mileage out of this, Jim.
Yeah, you got Keanu Reeves and Joseph Gordon-Levitt here with you too. That is cool. So how have you guys gotten through all the craziness of the lockdowns and the pandemic and all of this? It's been really, we've, as much as, you create new things and we have a lot of fun. Yeah, obviously it's been a serious time and we've all learned different things about ourselves and our lives and all. What are some things you guys have learned along the
Oh God. I think like stepping away from music for a moment, the value of human connection and friendship. For a long time, I only got to see don't get me wrong, grateful that I got to see the same people sort of every day and be with them and have company, because I know a lot of people obviously didn't, and it was I can only imagine how extremely difficult that must have been. But to be able to actually be with friends again, have that human connection, and just give somebody a hug, handshake, something like, you know, it's so bizarre. It just felt so like it was, it still does, to be honest. Actually, it feels like, you know, there's that sense of that alien sort of feeling of, oh, should I, you know, handshake, hug, you know, fist pump, whatever. You know, so I think for me that was the big thing. Like, you know, I've learned to appreciate that a lot more now. You know, like I certainly won't take for granted the relationships that I probably should have paid more attention to and cared for more prior to the pandemic. You know.
Yeah. How about you, Danny? What are some things that you learned, or, you know, some lessons or things during this crazy time of this unprecedented pandemic? I keep saying there's only a few people that could have ever scripted a movie like this, and that would be Rod Serling from The Twilight Zone, or
Yeah.
maybe Alfred Hitchcock,
Yeah.
or Steven Spielberg, or the novelist Stephen King
Yeah.
to come up with something like this. How about you, Danny?
I think, like, especially not being able to play music and go to gigs and stuff like that, it really made me like slow down and reevaluate like why I do what I want, what I do, like the music. Really made me think about it and go back to, you know, really doing it for, you know, the love of it, really. You know? Yeah, that was the main thing I got from.
So it's kind of
all this
like we
craziness.
appreciate something, and sometimes we appreciate the things and people that we have had around us and that we were able to enjoy time with and to do and to help express ourselves, only when they're gone, when we can't do it, or they're no longer here. So now there's like this reappreciation of, hey, we're living now. This is the moment. So let's appreciate what we can do and how we can contribute, and the people that are around us and the relationships we have and what we can offer and bring to the table with our talent and our voice. That's so, so important. How about you, Michael? Same thing?
Well, many things, but I guess many of us were probably forced into, you know, having to spend time with ourselves for the first time in a long time, or perhaps for the first time in our adult skin, you know, and you know, learning to cope with things in ways that when you don't have the normal hustle bustle of normal life, and you can't go to the bar and connect with people and socialize, it's it actually forced me a lot to look within and find peace within myself. And I actually had a lovely past year of, you know, diving deeper within into myself, you know, spiritually and psychologically than I probably would have or ever would have if this scenario hadn't have presented itself. So, you know, and getting into, read some really amazing books that like got into some Deepak Chopra and Sam Harris and stuff, and just, you know, yeah, I feel like I've now got some tools for dealing with stuff that'll serve me the rest of my life. That, you know, again, in a way, in a strange way, I'm glad this has happened, because again, as George says, just that even that greater appreciation, and now being able to deal with stuff that comes up, whether that's just work stuff or relationships. I feel like the best version of myself, you know, right now, and that's powerful, you know. And it was all in here already, but it's maybe taken this strange thing to happen to force me to learn to use
bring
these
it out.
tools, you know?
Yeah, to allow it to rise to the surface and come out, which is really, really awesome when you think about it. Deepak Chopra, really cool. I've had an opportunity to interview him on
Wow, yeah.
PBS television and see him at some of his you know, lectures and all. He's really something else, isn't he?
Oh, it really is. Yeah. I mean, it was. I picked up his book, How to Know God, and it just blew my mind. It just, you know, one of those, I don't know, books you read or experiences you have that unwire and uncondition everything you've learned up to a point. That, I mean, especially growing up here in a small island.
Yeah.
with a small island mentality,
Yeah.
and you get taught out of one very outdated book, be that, you know, whatever in school or through religion or so. I mean, it's just again to come at something from a totally new modern perspective. Again,
Hmm.
his fusing of science and religion together, which is beautiful, instead of those being in two different camps the way we've been brought up to believe that they should be or could be. But it's there's a this awesome new way of thinking about all this stuff. It's, you know,
It's really cool. Yeah.
yeah,
That
it was
happened to me a little bit. I had one of those trigger sort of life-changing moments about 2 years ago when I was on a television shoot out towards Las Vegas. And I ended up taking the rental car that was provided me, and alone, without anybody knowing and without the family and friends there and nobody having any idea, and with no supplies and knowing nothing about that rental car, drove alone through Death Valley Desert. And it was incredible. It was incredible what transformation I had doing it alone, because I'm communal. I like to do things with people, family,
yes,
friends,
same,
all,
yeah,
experience monumental things like that with everybody else and hear them laughing and ooh and wow and sort of being like the host, like supplying that happiness for them. And here I was alone in August, 100 degrees in Las Vegas, and then you go into this lonely, long, wild desert with a rental car without everybody knowing. It was life-changing for me, and that was only about 2+ years ago. And
yeah.
just
Well,
and it was something that maybe before that, I would have thought wisely about it. It's like, I'm not, are you crazy? It's August. It's 110 degrees. Nobody knows I'm doing this. I'm in a rental car. I don't have a cell phone that's charged up. I don't have food, supplies. I don't know anything about this rental car other than the make and the model. I'm not going to just drive into Death Valley, which goes on forever. And it's, people sometimes can disappear. But something happened to push me in there. And I came out of that, and it was a totally new perspective, which has been there, but deeper and more expressed, more. I'm vocalizing it more. Maybe I would have kept it more to myself, but I'm vocalizing it more through my work, which sounds like each one of you are doing together and individually, which is a very cool thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I mean, that's such a powerful, I mean, that's such a powerful experience that you've had, Jim. And like, yeah, I suppose, yeah, in the midst of all this craziness, a lot of good things has come from that. Certainly going deeper within oneself, both personally and collectively.
yeah, it was actually
Yeah,
even the first day George walked into the studio, uh, I think we actually chatted for like 2 or 3 hours
yeah,
before even talking about music even,
yeah. It's
and
simple.
it
Yeah.
was even that just led the way then. We were just talking about relationships and
Mm.
maybe different stresses and experiences of lockdown and life, and um but I think, yeah, again, the that sort of, yeah, laid the foundation and the gateway into a place of, being able to even make music together as well, which as well as another sort of cathartic process within that as well. But yeah, that was a beautiful thing,
Yeah, special.
It
James.
really, really is, when you take the time to think about that. And has that changed your thought process as far as the music and the depth of what you're doing now? Has it affected the actual music itself?
Yeah, well, I think certainly for me now, I'm not afraid to go deeper.
Mhm.
I'm not
Yeah.
afraid to, because why not? It's the most cathartic experience, and probably, well, the most incredible form of therapy is being in here making
Yeah.
music. and
Yeah.
but then not only like you're writing something and you're presenting it to somebody who's seeing it for the first time, and then be sitting in here and just talking about it, and like
Yeah.
things that might come up from that. We've we've had a couple of really um yeah, a couple of moments for sure, whilst making some of the recording some of the songs that, like, you know, where you just sort of stops, everything just stops for a moment, and you step away from it.
Yeah.
Sit down and talk, and then you return to it, and it's like it becomes, you know, you realize in that moment you've actually captured something that you probably never capture again. Like you couldn't go back and redo that because the moment is gone. It's just not the same. So I think certainly, yeah, it's been without question. I think the entire record is sprinkled with that, you know.
Yeah, there's been blood, sweat, tears, and laughter.
Yeah.
Making this thing, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I'm not even joking. There's a vicious, no, not vicious. There's a lovely cat here, and if you get on the wrong side,
oh really? Hey,
have you had any animals on your show?
Absolutely. I was just about to say. Usually, they end up jumping on somebody's chair, their piano, their shoulder. We've had one guy had a cockatiel fly in on his shoulder. We've had dogs. One person, she was talking, and her kid was playing drums in the other room, and he was putting on like a little concert on Zoom for his family, and he ripped the actual headphones off her head.
No
and said,
way!
Stop the interview. Come listen to me drum. Who do we have there?
That's Genghis.
This is Genghis. This is Genghis. Genghis cat.
Oh. She ain't knocked the laptop over.
Come here.
But she's been a watchful eye over the recording process as well, and has actually added a few moments of musical inspiration by jumping on the upright piano while we're recording. Oh, dear.
That is so cool. How old?
So
Genghis cat.
I actually only moved into this studio. I got the keys at the tail end of 2019.
Yeah.
And was just starting to build the studio, and then lockdown kicked in. So I actually moved in here and stayed and lived here for the first year of lockdown. But around the yard where the studio is, this little feral cat started to appear, and she wouldn't come near you. But because of being here every day, throwing treats, it built up the relationship. And I didn't think I would get anywhere close to this cat, you know, but then she ended up being the most friendly cat. You know, now she sits in every session. Yeah. And yeah.
We've actually managed to capture some. So sometimes, Jim, what I do is I have a really nice camera that I bring in, and I just set it up in the corner with a nice wide lens, and just literally just hit record. And looking back on all the footage of the stuff that we've captured, Genghis features quite heavily. It's quite cool, like, you know, be like having a real moment, and then the next minute there she is walking across the upright, you know. So yeah, no, she's definitely going to feature a lot in some of the live video takes as well, that's for sure.
Does she play an instrument, or is she a vocalist?
Oh, she's definitely vocal, yeah.
So if we hear any sort of cat purring sort of sounds in your music, we'll know who that is.
Exactly. Fired by Genghis.
Well, the Lovedies from around this, Jane in Sweden, so
Getting
adorable.
a lot of Genghis love here, yeah.
They're all, well, that's what happens once you show like a pet on. You're second-class citizens now to a bird, a dog, a turtle, you know, a goldfish, whatever it is. I mean, look, they forget about me and you guys. This is Genghis Cat's 15 minutes of fame. Does Genghis realize that it's being seen around the world and here in America?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. There she is. Genghis, you're stealing the show. You're stealing the show.
Yeah.
I love it.
Brilliant. Look, and she's posing now as well.
Yes, she is. That's what's happening.
Being watched over the world. Look at that.
I hope that cat's not union, or you're going to have to pay her a fortune.
It's all right. We've got the goods here, Jim. We've got the dreamies.
You got the good. You got the good. Did the cat sign a release for the publicity?
Oh, yeah. Just a paw print.
The paw print just. Well, with the digital world, that's all it's coming to. Paw prints for animals and thumbs for us. This is cool. Everybody's loving it. Great comments. Thanks to the Lovedies. Again, if you're watching for the first time and you want to chime in and chat here, subscribe to our YouTube channel right now, Jim Masters TV, and you can comment amongst all of our viewers who are commenting live. And they should all subscribe to Jim Masters TV anyway, shouldn't they, gang?
Oh, for sure.
Of course.
Subscribe, and it makes such a massive difference as well.
Actually, really does.
It pushes everything out there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's it. It takes a village, right? It takes a village.
You know. Well, fair play to you, Jim. Like, this is what did you say? 650?
It's live 7 days a week.
That's incredible. Like, I mean, over 650 episodes and doing it every day as well, but having to put up with the likes of us. Do you know what I mean?
Well, when we're together somehow, whether you are here in the States or I'm over in Ireland, you can easily pay me with a pint or two. That thing I think evens it out nicely, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And have you been to Ireland yet, Jim?
Once, and it was fantastic. And I was 2 years ago. I can't believe I'm saying 2 years ago, because it really has been 2 years ago. Just before the pandemic started, I was supposed to be over there for a television shoot. We were celebrating somebody for one of, a TV show that I host, a show that I actually get paid to do, the real professional work. And we were supposed to be over there, and we were supposed to go, it was supposed to be Dublin and Donegal, and we're supposed to be up towards Belfast, Derry, all of that. But the planes, Ireland went on the lockdown. The planes stopped here in the States, and everything sort of boom. So hopefully I hope to get over there. And where are you all, for the audience watching who don't know, where are you all individually originally from in Ireland?
Well, I'm a Derry man, Jim. I'm very proud to be one. Greatest city in Ireland.
And I am a blow-in. I was actually born in England, but only spent about 6 months there. So Irish mother though. I consider myself Irish now.
So you're English and Irish?
Sorry?
You're English and Irish?
English, Irish. I'm actually Ukrainian, Scots, Irish. That's my mongrel mix. Yeah.
Wow, what a great combination. Speaking of that, I would imagine, do you still have family in Ukraine right now, or friends?
I actually do, yeah. So it's a crazy time for people at the minute. And we're in touch with them daily. Luckily, a lot of them live on the west side, close to the Polish border. And currently they're in a city that's relatively safe, so there's no sort of activity there. But there's they have thousands of people who have fled Kiev and other cities coming in there. So they're doing what they can to help people out. So we're fundraising at the minute to do what we can to send some aid over there. So
how are you doing that? What are you doing? Is there a website or something people can go to? Feel free to mention it.
Yeah, thank you. So there's actually just this morning we started a GoFundMe. Maybe we can get the link on here somehow. But already we've raised over 3,000. And we're going to send, I'm actually traveling out there next week. I'm going to do an aid run. I'm going to take out blankets, sleeping bags, camping mats, dried food and toiletries to some of the refugee centers. So, it's what little we can do, but it's nice to be able to help. I can actually drive there in about 3 days from here, once we get the ferry from Dublin to Cherbourg, France, then we can actually get that stuff there quite easily. So
Jim,
that is so cool. I was watching a stream, actually. I think it's called The Independent is the name of the channel. And it's just this camera that is set up at the border of Romania and Ukraine.
Oh, wow,
and what you see is sort of like the I guess it's the Border Patrol welcome, and you see actually the Ukrainian folks of all ages, older, kids, parents, walking through with their belongings, whatever, kid with his teddy bear and the luggage and the guitar, whatever they've got that they left, and they're walking into Romania, and everything is wide open. There's no, just come on in. And right next to the little house or gate area, there are these people who are standing there. They must be part of like a Romanian aid society. They have these yellow badges on, and I can't really make out what the badge says. I wish I could, but I've been watching it because it's streamed like almost 24/7, and because they're pouring into Romania and, like you say, Poland and wherever they can go. And they're the people that are there. There's this group of people who probably locals who, as soon as they come in with their luggage and their stuff, whatever they could grab, they're handing them bottles of water, loaves of bread. I mean, it's come down to basics of bread and water. And the people of Romania are there, right there at the entrance. It's unbelievable. And they're welcoming them in. There's no like checking anything. It's just, come on in, and here's some bread and water. And then they're pointing them where to go. And I think there's some shuttles that are taking them to, places where they can collect. And it's really a beautiful thing to see them doing
it. It is, yeah. Just to bring it back to that really human to human, something that rises above, religion and politics, and it's just people wanting to help people. And Romania isn't it's not like a rich country either, but it just goes to show, what every little helps, and what an impact that can have on, there'll be, as you say, all ages. There'll be pregnant people, old age people, babies that have been stuck in traffic queues for all day and maybe moved like 5 miles. That's, you can imagine what state you'd be in arriving at that border. So it's really amazing to see. So it's the least we can do is just send what we can out there, and it's really cold. It's like -20 there at the minute as well. It's their winter. So
yeah. What is the GoFundMe page address?
So let me
so if you go on to Michael's got a Facebook page, which is Michael Mormecha, but you can also find it. I've shared it onto my Facebook page as well, just George Hutton, and you'll see a post, and there's a post there with Michael and his 2 sisters holding the Ukrainian flag, and in that post there should be a link to, it's Just Giving, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
here Michael's
it's Just Giving. Okay, so it's justgiving.com.
Just Giving. Yeah.
.com /crowdfunding /Michael-Mormecha, as is spelt on your screen there. So
great. Perfect. All right, folks. Say it one more time in case people they're jotting it down.
Sure. So it's justgiving.com /crowdfunding /Michael-Mormecha.
Perfect.
Mormecha, but I think you can see that on your screen.
Yeah, right there. Perfect. I'm glad we brought that up, because that's, every little bit helps, right?
Thanks, Jim.
Oh, yeah.
All his social media platforms, which is just Michael Mormecha, Instagram, same on Twitter, same on Facebook. And
right.
You'll see there, it'll be the first post on your page.
Is that?
And the link is there too. So if there's any confusion just with the link, you just go to Michael's page.
Yeah,
it'll be there. It's the first one at the top of each page.
Yeah.
Cool.
My granddad left the Ukraine as an 18-year-old, again refugee, displaced person in 1940. After the war, he ended up in the UK, but he would have been moved around a bit during World War II. But that's how he ended up in the UK and marrying a Scottish lady, and that was the start of my family. So it's very important to us and close to home, and it's in people say, it's in the Europe's backyard, but really it's a small world, and it just feels like it's really happening like right next door, never mind Europe's backyard, so.
And what's happening there can happen almost anywhere.
Oh yeah.
To anybody. Yeah. It's dicey times we're in right now, and a lot of egos and all kinds of crazy stuff that are deciding our lives for us, and not cool at all. Is this your father's side of the family or your mom's?
It is indeed. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So and my grandfather, Ukrainian grandfather, only just passed away in 2019. Actually, he made it to a ripe 95.
Oh, wow.
And he could still recount recall his story, right up to then.
He'd be like dumbfounded to see what's going on now.
Oh man, yeah. Ukraine, it only got its independence in 1991 after the collapse of the Soviet Union. So it's a really young country, and to think that a young anything needs supported and nourished, and only now, what is this, 30, just about 30 years in, to always to be trying to find your feet with the clutches of a very corrupt mother Russia. It's difficult for those people, but they're the most wonderful people as well. So
yeah, exactly right, exactly. Really fantastic.
We also feel for a lot of for the Russians too, who
don't want this to happen.
Don't want this, and so our love and thoughts go out to them also,
Absolutely. Cool stuff. Thanks for sharing that. And again, anybody say it one more time for us, the site.
So it's justgiving.com let me just justgiving.com/crowdfunding/Michael Mormecha, or Michael-Mormecha.
Perfect. Good stuff. Awesome.
Yeah. Thank you, Jim.
Absolutely. We do it all. We have laughs, we have entertainment, we have deep, poignant conversation. This is a full circle situation on the Jim Master Show Live. And did you guys want to hit us with a song or so here for the audience?
Yeah. One second, let Danny get back to his station there with the drums. I'll put this up there.
Yeah, just throw it up. Yeah,
right up.
Right up. Yeah, as into the line. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So this is going to be the first. So this will be released on the 11th of March under Shorsha, the new artist name. The song is called Some Kind of Noise, and just as I was saying there earlier, this is a song about not being afraid of change, and to sort of don't be afraid to sit into that and pursue the things that you love. This is Some Kind of Noise.
It's when you're thinking about it, just the conversation we just had about Ukraine sort of leads beautifully into that, because the world can change on a dime. And what we've experienced with the pandemic reminds us that the world can change on a dime. So do what you care about, support, and believe in right now.
Yeah, for sure.
Take it away, guys.
I've been sitting here thinking, and I've been thinking too much about all of my failures instead of focusing on love. I'm surrounded by people who give a damn about me, and I need to start believing in what it is they see. Don't change, little brother, you got too much to say. No more time for questions, you gotta do it your way. Don't change, little brother, you got too much to say. No more time for questions. You gotta do it your way. Allow me to believe. Don't take this pain away. Help me to harness this, to make some kind of change. Don't change, little brother. You got too much to say. No more time for questions. You gotta do it your way. Don't change, little brother. You got too much to say. No more time for questions. You gotta do it your way. There's nothing out there I can promise you, my boy. There's nothing out there but pain and some kind of messed up joy. Change to my father and to my mother too. Your little boy's gonna try his best to make some kind of noise. Don't change, little brother. You got too much to say. No more time for questions. You gotta do it your way. Don't change, little brother. You got too much to say. No more time for questions. You gotta do it your way. You gotta do it your way.
Really cool. That's an awesome song. Thanks, guys. Really, tell us about that. Tell us about that song, George.
Oh,
What was the inspiration for that one?
Yeah, I suppose. Well, sorry, we'll pull that. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I suppose I spent that probably a large part of my life in a particular box, and I suppose I don't even know how to describe it as such, but I was probably too content and probably listening to a lot of the wrong people when it came to making certain decisions that I, only know. I mean, and it's crazy to think it's taken.
Yeah, that happens. You had to live life. You had to experience that to come to where you are now, following what they were saying you should be doing and who you should be, and sort of putting you in a box of George is this, George will always be this, George will only be this. So this is what you'll always get from George, reliable and consistent, but that's going to be it. And George underneath was following and doing and knocking him dead, but something kind of burning and yearning underneath to say, this isn't all there is, folks. The story isn't over. I got a lot more to experience and share with you through my music, right? Did I sort of hit that on the head a little bit?
I think, Jim, you've absolutely hit it on the head. I probably couldn't put it any better myself. It's certainly
don't worry, there's no insurance copay for this chat.
But there's been a lot of stuff bubbling under the surface for a long time now, and it's just been I have to say, that was just wonderful to do. Yeah, that's the first time we've done that live in front of the people actually watching, and listening. So
all the lovities, yes.
Yeah, it was quite. There's something a bit more it just felt so right, and it's a powerful and cathartic experience, and even just I don't know, just the way that kind of got teed up there, totally organically, like Mike talking about people in Ukraine and his family and stuff. Was just like, whoa, yeah.
That was a good segue, wasn't it? A good.
Yeah.
Well, Michael and I had rehearsed that, so that would happen. No.
Showbiz, baby.
Showbiz.
That's it. No, it's it's so good when it's and that's what I like to do. Even in my professional work in TV radio, I love these situations where there's no questions. You guys don't know what I'm going to ask, and we're flowing and going. It's authentic. It's real. I think it's so much better. A lot of time, that's why we don't call this an interview show. We call it, a talk show, conversations and entertainment. It's different because a typical interview show is question, answer, talk about the CD, talk about the book, talk about the new movie, and then Seacrest out. It's done.
Yeah.
And it's you could do that, and I've certainly done a lot of that, but that's just I think people get more out of this kind of thing.
Can I just say, sorry, I just seen one of the comments there from John Walsh. So John, I said I was going to give you a shout out. So John, my girlfriend is Megan Walsh, who sings in Celtic Woman. And that's her dad.
I didn't know that. That's right. Because Megan, did you see when Megan was on the show?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
A lot of people viewing that.
I should mention that, but
that's
that was
right. She didn't mention it on the show.
Did she? Oh, well, I've mentioned it now. So her dad's watching John. So John,
there we go, right there.
Thank you so much for.
So Nathan is.
Nathan, can you say George? You can't. Oh, yeah. Nathan is. John, his father. How you doing, Nathan? Lovely to see that. His father is John McCourt, who would be a dear friend of our families, and he was at the concert there. We performed. Myself and Phil Coulter performed at the Millennium Forum, which is a beautiful theater in Derry.
Nathan's been here before, right? Nathan's been here. So John Walsh is Megan's dad.
Yes.
Megan's father.
Yes, Megan's father. So there he is.
So Mr. Walsh, Mr. Masters here in America. How's George doing? Is he sitting up straight? How's George's posture? Is he doing okay?
I should know.
There he is. Buddy says, "Love it, George. Well done, all. Welcome." George is a good guy. I can vouch for him. And Megan is beautiful. I actually met Megan when she came over to the States with Celtic Woman. Because I think I've interviewed and met all of the iterations of the Celtic Woman ladies and all Celtic Thunder guys. And I've interviewed them all here in the States on PBS. And Megan was fantastic. She was just on with Muren just December. And that episode, people will see it right here on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV as well. That's cool.
Yeah, Muren, she's the latest member to join the ladies.
Wonderful person. It was her first interview she ever did of any kind like this, was this one. So she said she was happy that it was this one because it's so casual and just nice. Sort of, if anybody's nervous, you won't be by the time you're done with us, Yeah.
Well, that's a testament. That's a testament to you, Jim. Like, you're a fabulous host and you're just a good guy. Like, so it just feels like you're having a chat, and at no point does it feel like you're going to pop one of those, off the wall, throw you kind of questions, So
right, exactly.
So testament to
appreciate that. Well, my Irish dad from New York City has always said, anytime anybody says something nice and kind to you, ask them to please put it in writing and address it management.
Gotta have it in writing, Jim. Gotta have it in writing.
That's it. That's
somebody
cool.
Somebody asked there in the comments, do we play any country music? What country does she mean?
Yeah, right. Because country.
Gotta be more specific than that.
I was going to say country and folk, which might come to the surprise of people outside of Ireland and maybe the UK, is quite popular in Ireland. And I know a lot really, they love the country music artists that are here in the States, but also you guys have, your own take on it as well. So do you guys dabble in that, some of the country music genre and folk music genre at all?
Yeah, well, I think folk music. I'm gonna let Mike take this one because folk is definitely, certainly with True and the music that he's making at the minute is.
Yeah, I mean, but I guess even that word though, it's such a wide. I mean,
there's so many different styles of it and versions of it, right?
Sure, big time. I mean, as George mentioned, the act True, that I play in. I mean, we sing Scots folk songs and Irish folk songs. Some of the texts that we sing and lyrics that we sing are 250, 300 years old, put to new arrangements. You know, beautiful stuff. There's a never-ending amount of amazing, you know, folk music out there and tunes that have been passed from generation to generation. So, and we've dipped into stuff, you know, from the Appalachian and the Americana, you know, songbook as well, and that's, which is really exciting too, you know, and the stories that all of these the different worlds of folk have to offer too. So and that's one thing we love doing is carrying these stories on, bringing them into the 21st century and presenting them to the modern, you know, and younger ears, especially with like funky, weird production, electric guitars, cool beats, whatever. That's a whole thing to be explored, and that's actually on the rise again. I think there's a bit of a folk revival and trad revival happening right now, which is also really exciting, you know, scene and a positive thing in music and pop even, you know.
It is really, absolutely, sort of, you know, the old school qualities and sensibilities are coming back, but sort of tweaked with a modern twist, perspective, and vibe, right?
Yeah, I think it's interesting, you know, particularly like growing up in Ireland. I think folk music is almost, whether you actually sing the songs or not, you're exposed to them, whether you like it or not. You're exposed. Like people, you know, there's certain songs, you know, that like your ear can just, it would gravitate to. If you hear it, you'd be like, oh, I've heard that before. It's because you've just been, I think, would I be wrong? Like, you know, we just sort of, I think it is something, it's a tradition that we grow up in. But what I admire about what Mike and True is doing is that like they are carrying the torch for a lot of these songs that they've literally brought back to life in a new way. And you know, I remember there was a night I was with Phil, and like Phil's a huge admirer of folk work, and he's worked with some of the biggest names in folk music. I let him hear some of the tracks, and he absolutely loved it. He loved it, and he loved the direction it was going in, because to be able to breathe life on a song that, you know, as Mike's saying there, that's 250 years old, and to make it contemporary and current is a very special and a very difficult thing to do right. But I think True have absolutely nailed it on the head, you know.
Even in Shorsha, we've done a song called The Unquiet Grave, and that dates back to
what, like 1700s.
1700s.
Yeah.
But we've done it in a style, the sound of it could be off Radiohead's Kid A. It's just, or Billie Eilish, so like a big sub bass, you know, like beat underneath, and then that's fused with this beautiful picking electric guitar and these ethereal synths, and then you have George duetting with an amazing artist called Emma Langford from Limerick in Ireland, and with this haunting sort of Sean-Nós voice, and that's, you know, that's that fusion of again 300-year-old writings on love and loss, but with a 21st century sonic, which is brand new to all of us. All of a sudden, that's one of the most, you know, that's, you know, no one's heard that ever yet. It's like we've created that, and it's, you know, can't wait to share even that.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Yeah. What does Danny have to say back there? He's so patient. Danny, did Danny take a nap at all, or? He's sitting there like this. He's just waiting for the cue to start playing again. Well, how do you feel about all this, Danny? Welcome.
Tell us about the scene in London. Danny lived in London for a long time studying, and there's a good scene there as well, especially with this sort of folk music coming up again.
Yeah, it's making a big return in London as well these days. And they're looking at a lot of Irish songs and Scottish songs, and kind of, I suppose, the same thing is true, repurposing them into like giving them a modern sound, and give them a new life. These old songs.
I think people are craving that in a lot of different things in life. Some of the nostalgic movies, the music, vinyl is coming back. They're listening to older music that maybe you don't hear on the radio now. Newer generations are listening to some of the previous stuff, even orchestral stuff. And because you don't necessarily hear, a lot of real instruments these days, and a lot of music, a lot of stuff is created or digital, and there aren't necessarily the musicians in a big studio recording it all as much maybe as there used to be. So they're hearing all of this stuff and like saying, wow, is this new? When did this happen? No, that was about 30 years ago. And that used to be on the radio, and wow, I like it. And this whole sort of people digging in and exploring, and the internet sort of allows that. People can Google, and you can go to YouTube, and you can hear things that were made earlier and then maybe modernized a little bit. And it's a really cool thing. It opens up a whole Pandora's box of re-exploring some fantastic stuff, whether it's music, film, art, TV, whatever, right? And it gives you guys an opportunity to tap into that and bring to the forefront vibes that occurred before, but put your spin on it, right?
Yeah, for sure. It's again, it's amazing how everything is at our fingertips now. Do you know what I mean? We don't have to go. You don't have to look too far now to find things that maybe you want to, things that might inspire you, or even just to delve into a different sort of something different, a different sound. And actually, on that, there's a fabulous podcast that Mike and True have called the True Cast. And it's fantastic because what they do is they talk about, I suppose, the journey of the arrangement and the journey of where the song itself and the start of
how it's created and the inspiration for it. And
and they talk about the sort of musical inspirations behind certain elements
sort
of the song.
breaking it down. Yeah, breaking it down.
I highly recommend that for anybody that
wants to know behind the scenes. Right.
Sure, yeah. It's lovely to hear the conversations between them.
Yeah.
Because you don't get that an awful lot. Like, you'll hear a song.
And that's it. You don't know anything about where it came from or the idea of it. It's like behind the music sort of. VH1 used to have a great series. Did you guys get VH1 in Ireland? Like you get MTV? VH1 used to have a great series like that called Behind the Music.
Yeah,
and that's they would break down, talk about the artists, and they talk about the music and how it came together, and their careers as well. And it was kind of cool. So any of that is really, really awesome stuff for sure.
Yeah. I suppose there hasn't been anything like that for a while, but on Netflix, is it now? You've got Song Exploder,
which is great.
That's very cool. I'm a big Nine Inch Nails fan, so it was really awesome. They covered Hurt, obviously by Nine Inch Nails, covered by Johnny Cash. But it's like when you're at a show and someone sets the song up before they play it, and you've got those more attentive, invested ears because you just lean into what it's about, and that's
right. It's not
like
just
that,
coming at you. You're like you said, I love that expression. You've got more attentive and invested ears. That's exactly what it is. And that then people really connect with the song, and then they find a relatability to it. They find elements about their own experience that they connect to your experience that you're sharing in the music, which is, there's nothing better than that. Did you have another song you guys wanted to share? Speaking of sharing great music?
Yeah, I was like, do you want to do something?
No, let's do Sailing Ships.
Right.
Big time,
we've got 1 second. I'm just gonna put the
reposition there. Yeah, absolutely. Everybody fill their glasses and put some ice in, and coming to you from Hillsborough, Ireland, just outside Belfast.
So this this next song, it's called Safe and Sound, and I suppose I couldn't think of a better thing to sort of dedicate it to than the current conflict that's going on in Ukraine. Because the song talks about just wishing that people make it back safe and sound from difficult times. So this is Safe and Sound.
All right, take it away, guys.
Flying over open water, I see I'm almost home. Trying to find some peace of mind, sitting on my own. Thinking of all those souls who lost their way in the night. May sailing ships guide them and bring them home tonight. Sailing ships guide them, bring them home tonight. Sailing ships guide them, help them win this fight. Standing by the key tonight, I know I'm leaving soon. Talking with an old friend by the ripples of the moon. Thinking of all those souls who lost their way in the night. May sailing ships guide them and bring them home tonight. Sailing ships guide them, bring them home tonight. Sailing ships guide them, help them win this life. And so, safe and safe and sound, safe and sound. Sailing ships guide them, bring them home tonight. Sailing ships find them, help them with this fight. Help them win this fight. Help them win this fight.
That's really nice, guys. That is really, really nice. It's got such a really cool, like, inviting vibe to it. You know what I mean? You can sort of makes you just, if you're having a rough day and a lot of troubles going on, you just, it sort of all melts away. You can envision sort of sailing away and all the chaos sailing away with it. Tell us a little bit more about that song and sort of the inspiration for that one. That's a great one.
Well, where I live, Jim, so every day for God knows how many years, I would get up usually most mornings and I would walk the quay. So in Derry, there's the Foyle, the River Foyle, and it's we have a beautiful quay there. And every morning, rain, hail, sleet, or snow, I walk down it, and it's always as beautiful as it was the day before, regardless of the weather, because we get all seasons here. But a good friend of mine that I would walk with a lot, friend of mine, Tom Cassidy, we noticed that particularly during the pandemic, we walked a lot during the pandemic, as you can probably imagine. There's an awful lot of there's very high suicide rates, particularly in Derry and in Northern Ireland, amongst young men. And there's a service called Foyle Search and Rescue who would often, if you see their boat out in the River Foyle, they're usually out looking for someone that has gone into the river. And myself and Tom, seen it too often over the last couple of years.
People just giving in and giving up, feeling overwhelmed, suicide, and
and it just became sort of it was something that was just burning in my mind. Like, what happened was, I remember Tom, like turning to me after seeing it out, maybe 2-3 days in a row. We were just like, do we really want to keep walking down here and seeing this? The thing that is so beautiful, you see that little boat going out looking for people, and it's just, you just start thinking about that family, and you think about what that person must have been going through. And so I kind of wanted to write that for them, and I wanted to write that just for anybody that's going through a tough time, going through, and that there's always somebody out there that you can talk to, and there's always somebody there that loves you, and I just know, in particular, the last few years have been very difficult for all of us, but certainly probably a little bit too much for some,
Yeah, that's beautifully said. And then, experiencing it through song and through music is really, it's very powerful, because music, as we all know, music is very healing, and it's like a universal language. It doesn't matter your culture, your zip code, how much money you have, political beliefs, religious beliefs, height, weight, eye color, none of that matters.
Yeah.
It really is a unifier, and it speaks volumes, literally in any language, right?
Yeah. And I just want to say, if it wasn't for the two lads here, I don't think these songs would have, they wouldn't have taken on the life that they now have, especially like, I remember Mike sitting down, when I just came in with this idea, and I just had words and a very basic idea in my head. And then he's like, just start singing it there. And then he sat down at the upright, and it just became this whole different experience, because again, the empathy was there, that respect, that sort of friendship and stuff. So it really does, you can't, there's some people that you can work with and they just don't get that.
Yeah.
They don't feel that.
They're not in that place, right? But how cool it is when they are, right? It's even hard to put in words when you come across a kindred spirit or two where they get life and look at life in a certain way that goes maybe to level 2, a little bit deeper. Because then it just gels. It just gels, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's so true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And empathy is one of them. It's It's funny. I've always talked about empathy. I think I was always like that as a kid, but it's so like popular now, empathetic and empathy and kindness and all that stuff. But I've always thought about that. That's what we should be doing anyway, not just when it's popular, but we should be living that kind of life anyway. And I'm just glad that people are starting to realize that too. And it's obviously you guys have had that understanding early on yourselves, and you're expressing it through the music.
Yeah, but it's it's taken to until 2020. Well, maybe the past few years, let's say the 2020s anyway, for them to start teaching mindfulness in school, and even bringing the idea of that into the education system, so that that's on the periphery of kids. Like growing up in the 80s, 90s, or whatever. Yeah, if you were lucky to maybe have like a mentor or somebody in your family, or you were in the right crowd, but it's very easy as a human to get, waylaid, and for that not to be a part of your life, so you're really lucky if you've got to have a portion of your life and onwards where that's at the center of your everyday, that mindset.
Exactly. Have each of you had mentors along the way, and who would be your mentors? Michael, who were some mentors for you along the way?
My ma.
Yeah.
She's
Best
good one.
She and as well, circumstance saw me move home during the lockdown in 2020, but again, it's like, if this hadn't have happened, and going back and having conversations now as an adult, maybe you would call in and see your parents, if you're lucky enough to have that relationship as you do, but actually getting to live there again and reform this connection. And now it's actually, we're more like mates.
Yes.
Had these awesome conversations and debates on all things, now being of a level where, I suppose, that strange thing where all of a sudden you find yourself older than the age where your ma had you, and you feel like you can level in a place or even beyond that now, and actually,
older and wiser. Yeah,
it's a strange thing to think about, but
it's beautiful too, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's yeah, for me, yeah, she's number one.
Yeah. How about you, Danny? Some mentors, people that are important in your life as you've come along.
Yeah, well, parents probably would be the greatest mentors in anyone's life usually. So I'd have to say my mom and dad.
Yeah, that's cool. How about you, George?
Yeah, I mean, God, I have to. Yeah, it's no question. I think my mother and father have definitely been hugely instrumental in my sort of outlook on life, and sort of coming from a very they're very objective people, and yeah, certainly. And just in terms, of like, just coming back to what Mike said there about, this whole idea where it only seems now like, particularly as a man, being able to open up emotively and and show that sort of softer side. Only now it's becoming like it destigmatized. And I think certainly my mother was always a great advocate of allowing, because there's 9 of us, so I've got five sisters and 3 brothers, and she always allowed us to just be who we are. Don't be afraid to say how you feel, because that's important. I think particularly as a young man or woman, if you're not allowed to express how you feel, then eventually over time that just builds up and builds up and builds up, and then before you know it, you're 40 years of age, and you're trying to deal with certain things, and it just can come out in explosive
the wrong ways, right?
So definitely my mother and my father too. Father's a great man. And it's interesting you talk about mentors. I actually think over in the last, probably certainly, Phil's been a big mentor.
Phil Coulter, yeah, sure.
I mean, put the music, to one side, I suppose, from him, because he's, the man's one of the greatest of all time. But just as a just as a sort of he's been a wonderful sort of fatherly figure as well, you know, and just he's been great to sort of just shoot the breeze with, and to talk about, you know, talking about life and relationships and things like that, you know. It's sort of it's lovely how, you know, your sort of the relationships that you have and your working life or the artistic creative side, they go hand in hand, you know. And you know, it's been nice with Phil because he's kind of, I suppose in some ways, show me not to shy away from that, you know. Like, even though I'm out, you know, I'm on the road with Phil and it's fantastic, he's also been very encouraging in that, you know, don't be afraid to step out on your own as well, and don't be afraid to embrace, you know, your own sort of artistic movements, you know.
Really fantastic, really cool. You know, that you mentioned family first. All three of you mentioning family first, which is really the best. So obviously they did the best they could and instilled the best of them in you guys. And I've been blessed the same way with my folks and family and relatives. I still look to them as that comfort and support. And now what happens over time is you are supporting them sort of and lifting them as time marches on. And it's a beautiful thing, you know. We're the blessed ones, all of us.
Exactly,
yeah.
Because I'm sure we all, you know, and yourself, I'm sure you have people in your life who don't have that, or have lost a parent early on in their lives, or even who's never in their lives. Every scenario. So I mean, to God, like to have made it this far in life, you know, and have both parents still, you know, to be able to have conversations in that relationship, that's extremely, you know, that, as you say, it's an absolute blessing, you know. It's amazing.
It really is. Absolutely. Did you have some more music for us, guys?
Well, I was thinking Mr. Mormecha might.
We could try a tune. Somebody asked about a country song. We could try.
Is there a song? Was there a song somebody asked? Is that what you were at? Is there a song in particular that somebody
or
asked?
Something that you guys want to sprinkle in, surprise us with? You can definitely, you know, whatever you guys think about.
I think
yeah.
Paul here has a little something up his sleeve.
He's got something up his sleeve. Yeah.
He's always got something up his sleeve. Tim always got something up his sleeve. He's got. It's a treasure trove of songs that this man has. It's a case of now figuring out which one he wants to do.
Now, George and Danny, don't tell me, because I know the audience is thinking this. I mean, they are saying he looks like Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
He really does.
Doesn't he look like Joseph Gordon-Levitt, the actor?
There's me.
Doesn't he look a little bit like Keanu Reeves?
When he sit there.
Yeah. And somebody also said not only Keanu Reeves and Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but also a little Julian Lennon.
Oh, he does.
Well, funny. Well, let's
less of the receding hairline.
But it's amazing, uncanny, huh? The similarities. That's it.
That's all right.
Sure.
Well, let's tie those influences in then.
Yeah.
I'll turn the fader up.
We'll go from Julian Lennon to his dad.
Yes.
And let's try a bit of this tune here. Feel free to sing along. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits by the window, wearing a face that she keeps in a jar by the door. Who is it for? All lonely people. Where do they all come from? All lonely people. Where do they all belong? Father Mackenzie, writing the words of a sermon that no one will hear. No one comes near. Look at him working, darn burning his socks in the night when there's nobody there. What does he care? All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Oh, look at all the lonely people. 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 Eleanor Rigby died in a church and was buried along with her name. Nobody can. Father Mackenzie wiping the dirt from his hands as he walks from the grave. No one was saved. All the lonely people, where do they all come from? All the lonely people, where do they all belong? Oh, look at all the lonely people. Oh, look at all the lonely people. Oh, look at all the lonely people. Oh, oh, look at all the lonely people. Boom.
Wow.
Eleanor Rigby.
Give this guy a Grammy now.
Yeah.
Really, I like that arrangement. That's a really cool arrangement. Yeah, I love that.
It's hard to go wrong with the Beatles track. Come on, man.
As agreed to by Jane, watching in Sweden, one of our lovedies in Sweden. Have you guys been to Sweden at all?
I've not. No.
Oh,
Yeah.
but very, very briefly, actually.
Briefly to
Yeah,
Sweden,
Örebro, it's a beautiful
Yeah.
city right in the middle.
Love
But
to
yeah,
go.
I'd love to visit.
Yeah. My great grandmother hails from Sweden originally, from Gothenburg. She was a princess that lived in a castle in Gothenburg, Sweden. The castle is still there, and she came over. That part of the family. This is my mother's mother, so great grandmother Hilma came over from Sweden, and they landed in Boston. And then the family sort of spread out from there. The New England side is my mom's side, and the New York side is my dad's. My dad is English, Irish, and mother English, Swedish, French. Nice combination there too. And the great grandmother was a princess that was part of the royal family. And
You're like a Renaissance Viking surfer, dude. This is
I know. And the Masters family, speaking of England, the Masters, I'm the fifth James. It goes back to, so this is my father's mother, the Irish father's father, English, Yorkshire. They
No
come,
way.
yeah, they come from. Must be why I love pudding so much.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire, yeah. How do you say it? You probably say it better than me. Yorkshire.
Yorkshire tea, mate. Love a bit of Yorkshire tea.
Well, I got to tell you, my father, and I used to try to correct him as a kid because I didn't know what he was saying. And he probably heard it from his mother and grandmother, with his grandmother Lillian coming over from Ireland as they settled in Manhattan. Well, the Masters family settled in Manhattan, and they had jewelry stores. And then the Irish side, my father's mother's side, they settled in New York City in Astoria, Queens, which was Irish Italian. And my father lived around the block from Tony Bennett, and knew Tony Bennett growing up, which was kind of cool. And Astoria is just across the East River from Manhattan. If you're in Astoria, which is beautiful, you look out and the Manhattan is there. My father, when I was a kid, he when I was a kid, he would always say the word F-I-L-M. And how do you guys pronounce F-I-L-M?
Film.
Film.
F-I-L-M. Film.
Film. And what do you say, Michael?
Film.
Film. And Danny says he doesn't say either. He says photos. What do you say, Danny?
Film.
Film.
Yeah.
So I think it's the Irish thing, because my father has I say film, but my father says film. So I used to say, Dad, what's film? Are you talking about like, fill up, fill it up, fill up the gas tank or something? So it wasn't till years later, and I'm on PBS television, and I'm interviewing the Irish tenors, and at that time it was Ronan Tynan.
Yeah.
9 feet tall, and we're chatting and everything. And he's talking about, paparazzi and all the pictures taken. And he says, and they use a lot of film. And I'm standing there. It was like in my head, it was like ding. And I'm live on TV and I couldn't say anything because the audience wouldn't know what I was talking about. I'm like, my God, where have I heard that word before? And it's my father having heard film. It's like an extra syllable. And I think a couple of guests that have come on who are from the northern area, they say that a lot in Northern Ireland, I guess, huh? Film. It's kind of cool, huh? Film.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, it's film. Now you'll think of it all the time, right? When we wrap the show, Michael and George are going to have a deep discussion about what is right, film or film. That's it. You have to have it over a pint, right?
Tomato.
Tomato. It's just, you're all welcome to the table. That's it. So you guys are having a good time and really exciting stuff. And it's so cool. There's a link, George, that you sent us. It's right there. Now, is this is something where there's a share or a sample?
It's a pre-save,
tell us about this.
So basically that link, if you click on that link, it'll take you directly to where you can pre-save the song on Spotify. And then just below it are all the Shorsha social media links. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, they're all there in the one link, just for convenience. But the great thing about it would mean an awful lot if people could pre-save the song, because the reason why it makes such a big difference is one of the things that I really have to think about now is algorithms. And the more pre-saves.
We are working totally on algorithms, even on YouTube. Yeah. That's why, when I tell people, give the episode a thumbs up and leave a comment on the actual YouTube channel.
Yes.
The algorithm sees that and they say, oh, that episode is popular. We're going to lift that and we're going to suggest that out to the world, and we're going to show it to even more viewers. So when we say give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and leave a comment under the episodes, there's like a technical thing to that, because YouTube is all algorithm based. You could be the greatest thing on the planet, but if the algorithm doesn't see it,
you don't exist.
You're talking to crickets.
Exactly.
So thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and all the Jim Masters show, of course, and Jim Masters TV. Yeah. And then there's your link to save and share that, huh?
Yeah. So the more pre-saves it gets, basically what that does in Spotify is whenever the song is released, Spotify's algorithms get to work, and the more pre-saves the song has, it kind of goes, okay, this has been pre-saved quite a lot. Let's put it on various algorithmic playlists, and then it has a better chance of getting on editorial playlists. But so every little bit helps.
It helps.
Big time. And if people don't have Spotify and they prefer using iTunes, you literally go into the iTunes store.
Yes.
And you just type in the word, go into the search bar and type in Shorsha. As it's spelled there, SHORESHEH, and it'll appear, and you can pre-order it there. I think it's 99 cents or something like that. But again, the same thing. If it's pre-ordered, that's it. And if you pre-save or pre-order it, then it it gives it a better chance of getting pushed out by iTunes and Apple Music as well. So it really does make a big difference in the exact same way as you were saying there, Jim. Everybody jump on, subscribe to the Jim Master Show, like it, leave a comment, because it really does help. It basically will it'll boost the show. And the
That's
algorithm
exactly right. People don't realize that it doesn't cost anything to do it, but when you do subscribe and you click the notification bell, when you do click the thumbs up like icon, and when you actually leave a comment and there's the engagement, YouTube's circulating. It's like I described it actually this morning. I was telling a friend, it's like their algorithms, their servers, all the computers, it's like a merry-go-round that's going like this, and things are being grabbed real quickly. And if it senses something that's right there and their algorithms attaches on, it grabs it and shoots it out. So that's why the audience participation and viewer participation in subscribing, liking, and commenting, if they love your music and they love our series, them doing that actually really, really helps us. It isn't just to make us feel good. It's actually helping the things that they're enjoying, like our show and your music.
Oh, absolutely. And the thing is, too,
it's all computer generated. It's all algorithm technology. You could be so talented and good, but if people aren't seeing it because of the algorithm not seeing it and promoting it, you're talking to crickets.
Just go off into the
and I've seen that happen to so many people. It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Oh, it is. And it's interesting because particularly with this project now, like between myself and the lads, we're doing a lot of work behind the scenes as well. It's all well and good, when you spend a lot of time and time, effort, all your emotions into putting a record together. But then once it's ready and you go to put it out into the world, that's only when the work really starts, because you want the song to get played on radio. You want it to be, you want the critics to pick it up and hopefully give it a nice review. And then, people subscribing, particularly to the social media links and stuff, like it
very
is
important. It's now part of, it's nice and all. It's nice and all, but it's actually part of what allows people to do what they do and to grow. And the people who are enjoying it, whether it's viewers, listeners, music, purchasers, whatever, ticket buyers, it allows them to continue to enjoy it because it allows you to be able to do what you do and us do what we do and do it together. And that's the key. And it's so important, right?
For sure. And it really means a lot. Like it does genuinely mean a lot. Like, the algorithm is vital, but I do with each new follower, or I'm sure same with you, Jim, each new subscriber, it means a lot because someone is coming in, they're coming into your house and they're saying, it's nice to be here. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, if people can jump onto the socials and pre-save the song, it really, really does mean a lot. And the same too for the guys. I know Mike's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, it's all Michael Mormecha, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All Michael Mormecha. And then Danny, it's all Danny Troughton, isn't it?
It is indeed.
So that's DANNYTROUTON. And if you can jump on and support the lads as well, like it genuinely, it makes such a difference. So and everybody that's been commenting stuff and all your kind words, really means a lot.
Support what we're doing here at the Jim Masters Show on Jim Masters TV. Support these guys who are gracing our presence. And you want Michael looks poised and ready to go, and so does Danny. Danny's getting carpal tunnel syndrome, just waiting.
He just broke a string.
That's what I heard. Right? He's like, I gotta play. Come on, I'm bringing the strings here.
What about that?
What happened was you said the word algorithm, and that's what did it.
The guitar. See.
What do you do?
Well, what do you give us another tune, man? It's his turn. I got 2. He gets 2.
That's it. And Danny gets them all. And
I know,
rounding up the troops there. Yeah.
Try Red Rose.
Oh, lovely. tee this up.
Mhm.
This is a beautiful
Sing along there.
This is a beautiful
Yeah.
song that
If he's a man.
was originally written by Robbie Burns.
Robbie Burns, yeah, Scott's poet, Flip, and even actually, I think he penned this around 17,
Oh yeah,
whatever 60. But even the lyric was actually again from 100 years previous. So this is a very, very old text in Scots Gaelic that we've just anglicized a bit, and they're singing the English translation. But it's just a really simple, beautiful love poem, lament, so give you a bit of that.
Perfect. All right. Good stuff.
Aye.
Can you hear the guitar okay?
Yeah, sounds really good. I love these mics you guys have. That one in front of you, George, is cool.
Oh yeah, that's a Neumann.
That's nice. Yeah, top notch.
Yeah, it's a beautiful microphone.
The studio is great too.
Oh, it's fantastic. Beautiful setup.
It is.
Forgive me, I'm missing a string here, lads.
That's all right. He's a pro. He can do it with stringless.
My love is like a red, red rose, newly sprung in June. My love is like a melody, sweetly played in tune. You're so fair, my lovely lass, so deep in love am I will love you still, my dear, till the seas run dry. Until the seas run dry. Fare thee well, my only love. Fare thee well a while. I will come again, my love, though it's 10,000 miles. You're so fair, my lovely lass, so deep in love am I will love you still, my dear, till the seas run dry. Until the seas run dry. Until the seas run dry. My love is like a red, red rose. There we go.
Beautiful, man.
That's
Beautiful.
Robbie
That
Burns.
is really nice. Yeah. Great version. Really nice version, huh?
I know.
Jeez.
I actually, before I worked on the arrangement, I actually wasn't aware that it had been done actually by Eva Cassidy and Eddie Reader, maybe can't remember who else. There's quite a few people have
Tommy Makem, Liam Clancy, and they were all done it too. Yeah. Beautiful.
So it's such a beautiful lyric, though. It's just so, I just find it so simple and powerful, you know.
Yeah, I tell you, really cool. Especially, you know, that we're doing this show on a Sunday. People can watch this 24/7 at any time. And I think in Australia, it's already Monday. So good day to our friends in Australia. But it's just a nice vibe this afternoon, chatting with you guys and hearing music and talking about the music and the projects and the things that, you know, turn us on, and a little bit about life and our experiences and what it's all about. And with some Irish crack in there as well. I think it's spectacular. I hope this episode of our show met whatever expectations you guys had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you and all the lovedies watching as well.
I've loved it.
Yeah. Thanks for creating the space, man. And as you say, this non-scripted style just leads way to those amazing conversations and connections. So thank you for creating that. Yeah.
No, it's been an absolute pleasure, Jim. Thank you so much for having us. And it's so nice. It's nice to be back on the show. And
This is your second visit. That's right. And Michael is welcome back anytime. Danny's welcome back. You know, you guys are welcome. Spread the word to everybody you know about the Jim Masters Show Live. You have other friends and folks you think would like to come on as guests as well. And Danny, do you have anything to say back there? I don't want to leave Danny out because he's keeping the rhythm to this whole thing. He's like, if there's no Danny, half of this doesn't work. Look, now he's got great lighting. He's got better lighting. You can see his eyes.
Thanks very much for having us, Jim. It's been great crack.
Cool, yeah.
Being on the show. Great experience.
Really is, I tell you. And it won't be the last time. This is George's second time. He's a great friend and love having you guys here. Just want to show you some of the comments coming in from the lovedies. Mona in New Orleans, Louisiana says, thanks for sharing your music and time with us. Truly enjoyed you guys. Come back and see us. Great show today as well. Thanks. I think that's really, really cool. Yeah, we really appreciate that, Mona. And that's the other thing. I love all the live interactivity. I'm a very interactive host and presenter, and I think that makes a world of difference. Kathleen Walker in New York City says, claps and nice guys. Sherry Larson in Kansas, in the middle of America, Kansas, USA. Thank you for sharing your music with us. Congratulations on your new album. Absolutely.
Well, the album's not out yet, but
it's coming out.
Thank you. It will be out. Thank you.
Right, yeah, the single and then album. What about album? Tell us. Is that?
I think we're gonna just let it. It's in the pipeline, but
it is in the pipeline. Yeah,
slowly but surely. You know,
first the single comes out. You feel the vibe response to the single, and then, right, exactly.
Yeah.
Juanita, one of our regular faithful lovedies in South Africa. Fantastic episode. Thank you guys for joining us and for the fabulous music. Good luck with the new album. See, they want an album. They like what they're hearing. I guess there's an album. Yeah, we'll call you guys the Three Musketeers. If the Shorsha thing doesn't work, then just the Three Musketeers, or Shorsha and the two other Musketeers. Sounding great. Really nice. And Gary said they want to order the CDs. See, will the new album have a physical CD or just stream or download?
When I'll be releasing singles initially, and they will all be available to stream on all the digital music platforms. And then there will be, for sure, a physical album, definitely. But I think that'll be probably the latter part of this year, potentially maybe in the start of the new year, you know. But just gradually want to, just gradually release one song at a time, and then I'm gonna release an EP probably first, and then move on to some more singles, and then the album, you know. So it's been we've been strategizing it in the war room, you know.
Yeah, right.
So I trust the guys, like, you know.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Just
thanks for asking too, Guy.
Here's Here, did you figure out what you call a naughty buddy yet? Or feel more than welcome to adopt Scallywag if you want.
Scallywag. Let's see, a naughty buddy. It's probably somebody that's in jail right now, or I like Scallywag. Hey,
that's yours. It's all yours, man.
It's all
Take
yours.
it. Yeah.
Keep it, Jim.
Well, we'll have to start that and sort of introduce it a little bit slowly, so nothing crazy happens. So if I say to a good friend, I've always been trying to sum you up, and you know what I really think you are? You're a scallywag. No, wait, that's a good thing. Didn't you watch the show? That's a good thing. All right. How about if I call you a bloke? No, that's another good thing. All right, I'll stick with Buddy. So I'll weave it in.
I'm bloke.
Right, Jim Masters, a great bloke. I will slowly introduce it to the gang.
Brilliant.
That's another word too. No, that one I have slipped in. Brilliant. I love brilliant. That's definitely that's used a lot in Ireland and England and Scotland. Brilliant.
I use it all the time. Yeah.
See, like when we have always said brilliant, we mean the person is brilliant, like a genius, like very intelligent.
Right.
They're smart. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
Like it's like intelligence, but you guys
Yes,
say
of course.
brilliant. Like that's fantastic. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's sensational.
Yeah.
My breakfast was brilliant today. So.
The breakfast was brilliant.
Because I had last night's Indian takeaway for breakfast. Happy days.
And that's another phrase too. Takeaway. You guys say takeaway, and we say take out.
That's right.
Take out. It's kind of cool. I love all the different words. Do you guys use awesome there as much as it's said here? Awesome. Everything is awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
You just say awesome a lot, right?
Yeah, big time. Yeah.
That's
Big time. Big time. Brilliant. Big time.
You're right. Yeah. Yes. Big time. That's right. Big time.
Yeah.
Do you, Michael? Do you know any Ukrainian at all? Were you ever taught any?
No, not yet. No, it's on my long list of things to do. So yeah.
Cool. Cool. Yeah.
There'll be a song. I think there'll be a.
Yeah.
There's a beautiful song that his grandfather sang.
Oh, really?
Ukrainian song.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think there's going to be
something that might
something in the works there
in honor of and tribute to the grandfather, but also the people of Ukraine.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Very beautiful, really cool stuff, guys. This was really awesome. And somebody that pops in towards the end is the comedy legend, Mr. George Burns, here with us.
Hey! What a guy.
What a guy. That's why he played God in the movie too. When he turned 100 years old, my Aunt Lillian collected dolls. She collected dolls of all kinds. And she grabbed this collector's doll of George Burns when he turned 100 years old. And there he is. You see, he's got his cigar and he's always dapper, this guy. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at the hat.
What was that?
I was going to say. Something was rising to the occasion there. So tell the audience who we have there.
I don't know, man. This is a strange late night eBay purchase. I don't know what I was doing, half asleep in bed, and a couple of weeks later, this arrived in the post. So I don't know what happened.
It terrifies me.
It's just looking over there,
Now the question is, do you sleep with it in your bed? Does it sleep next?
No, she lives in the studio, man. That's too weird for the house,
Oh, so it's a studio manager.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Before we wrap, Michael, tell us about this incredible studio you've built. It's really impressive.
So, geez, man, I as I say, I just spent a bit of time over lockdown. I was looking for a space for the studio, but I was really lucky to get a hookup with through a friend of a friend. He knew this guy who fits out hotel rooms, and he had loads of skips filled with really interesting bits of wood, all different shapes and sizes. And that went along and emptied these skips, rented a big truck, and bought all the wood here. So the studio is made up of many random pieces of what would have been offcuts of a hotel fit out. So it's kind of cool. It's given it a really funky vibe, you know, and you know, it's quirky, but it works. It works. There's many strange angles and all about the place. I know you can't see it, but yeah.
I bet the acoustics are pretty cool, huh?
actually-
Oh yeah, give us a tour.
There we go. There's the live room out there.
So that's a,
Yeah, and then yeah, look at that thing up there on the roof. Actually, this is really cool. This was all the offcuts from building different parts of the studio, all stuck on a board and then like spray painted all nice colors. And so and then back there's the
lovely upright.
there's the piano that you'll hear on the Shorsha record.
There it is. It's beautiful. And then in there, you can't see it, but
Yeah,
that's a big live room in there through the glass.
That is so cool. Wow. So there's much more to it. I thought you guys were just like in a nice studio, but like a room. And what we saw, you know, like we saw the angle of you guys, but on the other side of the camera is probably cardboard boxes and wires. But it's a full thing,
yeah.
right? Is it a standalone building?
yeah, well, it's joined on to it's in a small industrial park that backs
Yeah.
onto a forest.
It's
So
incredible.
there's a few businesses around the yard, and but no, I mean it's nice and private up here, and yeah, it's a cool spot actually. For anybody who's interested, George, so we're in Hillsborough, and there's a lovely castle in the village of Hillsborough, and that's where the Queen stays when she comes to Northern Ireland.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
Jen Barry's into castles, and she was actually asking about castles. And
Hillsborough
have you visited castles there? She feels that everybody that is from Ireland or, you know, has gone to Ireland either has a castle or visits a castle, or, you know,
Well,
it's like,
if anybody who's interested, they can Google image Hillsborough Castle. It's a very beautiful building and quaint little village here in County Down. So, yeah, it's
beautiful.
really
yeah,
is.
that's really, really cool, huh? Mm,
Yeah.
that is really awesome. So that's quite a place you've created there, Michael, huh?
Oh yeah, it's cool, man. I'm lucky to have this spot, you know, especially at the weekends. It's nice and quiet here, you know, and there's a forest actually over during the lockdown. All the businesses closed down, so there was nobody around for miles. So there's a lovely forest. We were having campfires and, you know, just barbecues and just hanging out in the forest. So it was great.
Really cool. Really, really cool. Love it. Love it. Love it. At first, I thought Gary wrote in Iowa, "Thank you, George Michael."
Thanks, Gary.
No appearances from him today. Not right now.
All right, B.
That's it. Just a ghostly vibe. And he continues, George, Michael, and Danny.
Danny!
Spending your time with us. Yes.
Thank you.
Gary.
Danny is a man of a few words, but many talents.
Yeah, exactly. Humble man.
That's right.
Humble man.
He keeps it all balanced, right? He keeps
Sure.
it all, you know. If
Jim,
it's
what's your favorite Queen song? If you had to pick one desert island Queen song.
oh, gee, that's a good question. A Queen song. Well, I mean, everybody. Probably the one that I hear all the time is "We Will Rock You." I mean, that's always
Great.
that's like, and they use that a lot in sporting events here. You know,
Oh,
when there's
yeah.
major sporting events and things of that nature. As a matter of fact, somebody even that just reminded me, triggered you. I know you, George. You like football. Which is soccer for you guys,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Our football is the Super Bowl we just had 2 weeks ago, but yours is soccer. Do you guys all play a sport? Do you play any sports?
Well, as you know, I played football for years, and I've played Gaelic football for years as well. Now I don't really play too much now, you know, but yeah, it was always a big part of my life growing up was sport, you know. Father was big into football, soccer, and so yeah, I think that was just sort of part of part of the package growing up, you know.
It's all
And I've
part
always
of it.
loved
Yeah.
I've always appreciated it. Like, yeah.
If you don't have a fiddle or a guitar or a penny whistle in your hand when you're a kid in Ireland, you're playing football. How about you, Danny? Any sports?
I do a bit of swimming.
I couldn't swim to save my life.
Yeah,
Danny
that's what I like.
Danny be saving me.
In the seas, probably the best place to do it as well.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You don't swim that English Channel, do you? It's a little rough.
No,
Don't be
just
giving him
Atlantic.
ideas, Jim. I'll be losing them. Don't be giving him ideas.
That's right. On the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live, we go to Danny, who's swimming across the English Channel.
Oh dear.
Actually, where I keep my boat up in a place called Donaghadee, that's the bit of water then between Northern Ireland and Scotland, and at its shortest point, it's only I think 18 miles. And the first guy to swim it was in 1947 actually. There's a lovely photograph of him in a cafe up there, but I think he did it in like, I don't know, about 25 hours, you know, left with the tide and the current, arrived covered in jelly stings. But yeah, so yeah,
that is so cool.
to a pint of Guinness, you know.
Yeah.
That's it.
Bowl of seabed cheddar. Like a loaf
I-
of wheat bread.
I tell you, the more I hear Michael speak, I really think we're talking to Keanu Reeves. He's got that whole Keanu Reeves vibe, doesn't he?
It's gonna be brilliant, Jim.
Am I crazy, George? Do you
No,
get that?
you're 100%.
Yeah.
I'm just back
That
from
whole
Hank.
Keanu vibes, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt with maybe a tad of the Lennon. I mean, all in one, wrapped up in one.
Brilliant.
That's
I'm never
cool.
gonna have this down.
That was cool. Yeah, that's good stuff. He could, he could probably walk in somewhere, especially in America, and they'll hand him anything for free because they'll think,
That's what I'm gonna do. See if we go to America, I'll be like, sorry, folks, I'm actually here with Keanu Reeves. If you got a wee table? Yes, sir. Yeah, of course.
or Joseph Gordon-Levitt, any of them. Yeah. Jane says the studio looks cool. Absolutely. Jen Barry, lots of our Irish crack, loving it. And Bohemian Rhapsody, that's another good one. Sherry was mentioning. That's a beautiful one. Kathleen says, thank you guys for being here. And she's in New York. Mona says, cool studio, and you guys were great. Jane in Sweden says, that studio looks cool and great. I agree, gang. And good stuff. Thanks for all the comments coming in. You guys were awesome. You know, we chatted for. Now we don't always do this. We don't always have to do it. I tell the guests, we can chat as long as you want or as short as you want. We don't have any requirements as far as longevity with the timing. We just let it roll and flow and everything. 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I know.
But it doesn't feel like it, right?
I know. That's going to be a big file on YouTube, I tell you.
That's going to be a good one. It doesn't feel like it, right? It just feels like we're just chatting and, we're hanging out and some music and crack and good conversation, right?
Yeah. That's it. Yeah, no.
That's what it
lovely
is.
when it's organic and it just flows naturally.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks for coming in, guys. Really good to see you again, my friend George. Good to meet you, Danny and Michael. And let's all stay in touch. I would love that. Yeah. And hopefully, we'll be in the same zip code maybe one of these days at the same time.
Yeah, sure. And we'll get a few pints.
Yes. And if we're not already connected on all the social media, let's definitely do that. And again, the episode to this, the link to this episode is on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So you can share that on your social media and tell everybody you were on the show. And then they can click it and it'll bring them to our YouTube channel and they can watch it on our YouTube channel and see all this craziness today. I mean, Danny was really wild today. I don't know. You guys had to keep him under check.
Control himself.
Yeah. That's it. You guys are the best. Thanks, my friends.
Yes, man. Lots of love. Yeah.
So much, man.
Continued success. And any final words about the show, about our conversation, about anything coming up from each of you, starting maybe with George?
I suppose I want to just say thanks, Jim. It's always an absolute pleasure to come on your show, and I feel very, very lucky and very grateful to be on a second time. So thanks for inviting us back, and thanks to everybody for the lovely comments, and it's been a real treat, you know, performing with the lads and introducing this new project to everyone. So yeah, anybody watching, like, you know, just make sure you subscribe to the Jim Masters show, because it's a great show. And Jim, you're a great guy. I really appreciate all the support.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Anytime, my friend. We'll have you back. Keep that porch light on for you guys, like we say. Danny, how about you?
Oh, it's been, I didn't know I was coming on this show until like 5 minutes before it started. So dropped in the deep end, but it's been great. Yeah, thanks for having us.
A pleasure. I like that expression too. I'm writing all these down. I've been dropped in the deep end.
Yeah.
I like that. Next time somebody, you know, wheedles me into something I didn't know I was going to be doing until 2 minutes before I'm doing it, what'd you do? Drop me in the deep end? Did you drop me in the deep end, you scallywag?
No, you're getting it, Jim.
They're going to be like, what the? And how about you, Michael?
Yes, man, I'm looking forward to my surf lesson and to hang out with you in the flesh, because it's been a real pleasure chatting. So, yeah, great show. Look forward to, I'm going to go and listen to some of your other shows now, man. And yeah, this has been good crack indeed. So thank you, and thank you to all the listeners as well, and for your lovely comments. So and very special for us to play some of these songs live for the first time for you guys. So class.
My pleasure. My pleasure. You know, just one thing before we go, it's catching my eye now. Maybe the lighting is hitting it. That is a fantastic guitar behind you. That blue one on the wall.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful. It's a Gretsch. It's a beautiful Gretsch. Yeah. So, yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, it's very nice.
She's a beauty.
Yeah. Actually, we're gonna.
That's nice.
You'll
Yeah.
see it soon on a live session we're gonna put out.
Yeah.
So, no, it's cool, man.
Nice stuff, gang. You're the best. Again, blessings and joy to all of you. Continued success with everything. We'll stay in touch and keep me posted. Let's link up if we haven't, and keep me posted on everything, and we'll spread the word. And good luck, George, with the new single. And everybody go, you know, save it. And Michael, same thing with the GoFundMe. A pleasure to share that with everybody. And you guys just keep doing your thing, and we'll chat again soon, okay?
All right, man.
Thank you so much. Peace, brother.
See ya.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Cheers to you guys. Be well and take care. Thanks for joining us on the show today. It was a blast.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye now.
God bless.
The best, huh? George and surprise guests, George and friends. I tell you, it was cool having Michael and Danny on and them playing together. And we got into some really, really cool conversations. And that's what happens on the Jim Masters Show Live. We have entertainment, we have poignant conversations, our light, love, levity, and our famous JMS levity. And you never know where it heads up because we're live. We don't script this. There's no teleprompter being read. There's no pre-prepared questions. And as far as the length of the shows, we just let it roll. And if a guest has to do only a half hour, we do a half hour. If they can do an hour, 2 hours, we just let it roll. Because these shows are really monumental. And people keep telling me I should enter this series into the online Guinness Book of Records or something, because we really do it not like a podcast. We do this like a television series, like an old school TV show with some of the TV hosts and presenters, but with a modern vibe and a modern twist of today. Again, if you're just joining us, this show originates from the United States here in the New York area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, along the southern New England coast, and between New York and Boston. And we get so much action that comes out of this through all of our viewers who are watching, our Jameis Lovities, just looking at more of these comments coming in. You guys were also on fire today with all the comments. We appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, man, would we love it. That really does help us here. It is so cool to be able to do what we do when we know that you guys appreciate it. Just hit that red subscribe button. The channel name is Jim Masters TV. The show is the Jim Masters Show Live. And as we said earlier, we gave you a little, George and I and the gang give you a little tutorial as far as algorithms and what it's all about and the importance of them. Click like and leave a comment on the YouTube channel itself, because I know you guys like to do the chat. We love that. But leave a comment on the channel itself because it's so important. So you click that like right there and subscribe and all the rest. Also lets us know you enjoy what we're doing. We really appreciate George joining us here on the show. This is his second visit on the Jim Master Show Live, and Danny joining us, and Michael as well. And again, don't forget to, go to that GoFundMe page, and also that link that George provided where you can save the song. That's really cool. There it is again. We'll show it another time for you guys. There you go. And we have over 600 plus episodes we've done in this series, which that's longer than some TV series lasts and some Broadway shows last. It's truly amazing. And we continue to grow by leaps and bounds. Hey, if you didn't see when Broadway star, Emmy, Grammy nominated international songstress Nick Kenjay was my guest last week, catch that incredible episode out. It was unbelievable. We had so much fun. It was her second visit. Did you see when Lou Castro, California bassist, singer, songwriter, and producer, legend in the business from Hollywood, was with us last night? Check that out. Coming up tomorrow, cabaret star, singer, and author Renee Katz is going to be joining us from New York City. And of course, the incomparable, she toured with Frankie Valli, vocalist and novelist, the one and only Lady Sandra, is coming back to us live for her second visit on the Jim Masters Show Live. That is going to be on Tuesday. And then coming up in March, she's incredible. She's the Beehive Queen, acclaimed singer, songwriter, and vocalist for many years with the Saturday Night Live band. Of course, Saturday Night Live, legendary on NBC television, Saturday nights at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. Well, she's been with them and the band for a long time. She's going to be coming up. Christine Oldman is going to be joining us here on the show, and many, 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 many more. You guys are the best. Let's take a look at a couple more final comments before we wrap the show up and have a little dinner. We blew right through lunch with this one, gang. But it was really, really cool. And more comments coming in. Let's see what we have here. Kathleen, thank you very much. Thank you as well for being with us. Kathleen, watching all the time in NYC, New York City. Mona in Louisiana says, hope you and the lovelies have a great rest of your Sunday. Great way to spend our Sunday. Thanks again. Absolutely. Mona, you be well. We'll see you on the next one. Juanita in South Africa saying, fantastic episode, Jim. So much fun. Amazing music. Thank you, Juanita. Mona also adding, Jim, thanks so much. Was a great show. You look great today. Love that color on you. How do we print these comments out? We haven't figured out a way. I want to print these out. Thanks, Mona. I appreciate that. She also says, so nice to meet you all. Thanks again for entertaining us today. Absolutely. Jen Barry in Pennsylvania saying peace and love to Ukraine and the Ukrainian people. I agree. Absolutely. We send our love and prayers, of course. Jen Barry also says, thank you guys for bringing me Daddy David alive in me heart. Slancha, Jen, thank you very much. Jane in Sweden, loving the studio. The studio looks great. I agree. And a couple more coming in here from everybody. Thank you for another fantastic episode. Really enjoyed that. Everyone have a wonderful day, evening. Love and hugs to all. Toodles from Sherry Larson in Kansas. Great show, Jim. Thanks from Kathleen in New York City. Thank you very much as well. Enjoy the rest of your day. You too, no matter what time of day it is, wherever you're watching around the world. Mona says hug and love to everybody. You too. Hugs to these three great guys as guests, Jim. Cool. I'm sure they are receiving those hugs. And Jim, I will send you an email on how to print those comments out. Cool stuff, Gary in Iowa. We appreciate that. You guys are the best. Again, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about the Jim Masters Show Live. That helps us big time. Again, there is that algorithm. And it's really, really cool. Busy day for me in the morning. I got 2 TV shoots, a couple of radio shows, and then we're back tomorrow live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, which is our regularly scheduled time. But if you miss anything, everything is archived right here on our YouTube channel for you. Don't forget, as we always say, times can be crazy, so don't forget to smile. Really important. We talked about the ocean today, too. One of my favorite Zen places is the ocean. That is the Atlantic you're looking at from the South Shore of Long Island, New York. You guys know I'm originally from New York, from out east on Long Island. And I grew up on an island just like the lads did. They in Ireland and me on Long Island, New York. You guys are the best. Spread the word. Help us grow. Share the lovity. Our YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV, where we house the Jim Masters Show live series. Jane says, super show tonight, Jim. Heart, heart. Thanks. And that's coming in from beautiful Sweden. Beautiful Sweden. We talked a lot about Sweden today, too, on the show. All right, gang. One more time. We thank George for joining us and Michael and Danny as well. It was awesome. We'll have George and the gang back one of these days. It was also nice to have Keanu and Joseph and Julian with us, too, in some way, shape, or form, right? You guys are the best. Jim Masters here. Thanking you for your time this time. Till next time. We'll see you on the next one. I'll be right here waiting for you, and I hope you'll join us. You guys are the best. We love you all. Take care and be well. And thanks for being with us for this episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Be well. Take care. Love one another. And cheers. Take care.